Okay, let's switch this back over here. And guys, this is going to be probably one of the most useful videos slash live streams that we have on the channel for pretty much the entire month of May, to be honest. And that's because what we are going to be doing today is honestly probably the best way to determine what is the real value for these players we are talking about in Dynasty. I mean, what are they actually going to be going for in this auction startup draft? We know that you can look at real life Dynasty startups and have a much better grasp on what the real actual trade value is for pretty much all of these players. If you're seeing real Dynasty players go through, put their money where their mouth is, put real money on the line in trying to make their team the best team possible. So yeah, this one's going to be scary because it's an auction. A great thing about an auction as well is you're going to get a good sense of what the tiers are, because in a regular draft, I mean, there can be a massive drop in value from just say the 304 to the 305. And if the players are right next to each other, you really don't have a good sense of what the difference in value is. But no, in an auction, you're going to see one player go for $45. You're going to see another player go for $39. And you're going to go, okay, that's the exact difference. You can add up a couple players down the line and go, this maybe isn't a completely fair trade, but it's at the very minimum in the ballpark of what you're going to be expecting in a real league. So I hope that this helps. Let me pull up the general chat real quick to see if we have anybody in here. Anybody that maybe is telling us that we don't know what we're talking about. Hopefully we sound good on the mic. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to fix this. And I'm going to be completely honest, guys. Okay, so we've done a couple of these mock auction drafts over the past week, and I got crushed in every single one. I mean, both auctions that we did, I came away with horrendous teams. And like I said, I am very upfront and honest with my real life Dynasty experience. I started playing Dynasty way back in 2014. I've been addicted to Dynasty ever since. And back in 2014, the first league I joined was actually a Dynasty auction league. And yeah, I got crushed in that auction, but we had a ton of experience in slow draft Dynasty auction formats through the course of 2014 through 2017. But after 2017, I really stopped playing auctions and I mainly just switched over to regular drafts because, I mean, there's a very clear formula on how to crush your Dynasty draft. And with auctions, I just didn't necessarily feel as confident. So you're going to probably see me in this live stream, probably going to see me in this video look like an idiot. And that's completely fine because I say all the time, I mean, these videos get thousands of views. I am not arrogant enough to sit here and say that I'm the smartest guy in the room. A lot of y'all, a ton of y'all, especially just talking to you on Patreon. I mean, I know y'all are better than me at Dynasty in a lot of different areas. And I think that auction is going to be one of those areas. So please, if you have anything to say in the comment section regarding, hey, Mason, you did this wrong, you should have done this instead of this, please don't hesitate to let me know. Call me stupid. I understand that I very much am stupid when it comes to this format. Now, we are going to get this draft kicked off in 5 minutes exactly. And yeah, okay. Joe Johnson says, what's up, motherflockers? Hit that like button. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, man, for coming out to all of these premieres, all of these live streams. Now, Mike is out here, Tick. Pretty much everybody that's out here at the beginning of every premiere or live stream is out here as well. JN says, just found out I can't go to baseball regionals because I'm supposed to be on a free Bahamas trip, but I'm thinking about turning it down. No, man, you have to go to the Bahamas. I mean, please let me know in the chat, how did you get a free Bahamas trip? Because maybe we need to try to figure out what you are doing and how we can probably try to copy that strategy. Okay. George says, pay for Christian McCaffrey and sit back after that. The crappy thing is, guys, I sent out a tweet the other day saying, hey, if y'all have any tips with auctions, please let me know. And a lot of people are coming in. A lot of people are saying, hey, save your money to the end. A lot of people are saying, hey, spend your money at the beginning. And the correct answer, of course, is it's going to depend on the prices. It's going to depend on what your league is doing. It's hard to say that you're going to be able to win an auction by waiting until the end or paying up at the beginning. You really just have to be on your game. You really have to make sure you know what you're doing and you have that plan going in. So I said that we were going to be making a budget coming in here. And to be completely honest, I started editing our rookie draft guide that's going to become available on Patreon later this month. And last night, I probably spent, I want to say 5 or 6 hours on that. And I stayed up until about, I want to say 2 a.m. And y'all know I wake up at 6:30 every morning. And I'm like, crap, I got to go to bed. I have to work all day. So I'm not going to have a chance to make these player values. So hopefully we learned enough in the past 2 mock drafts that we don't need that budget coming in. Hopefully we don't make those same mistakes. But of course, I am stupid. So that is completely possible. Okay. But anyway, we are going to be getting this going in 4 minutes. Okay. So let's answer some questions in the general chat while we wait along. And Rodney says, let's get those likes rolling. I mean, guys, y'all have already smashed this like button on the video. I mean, we have 24 likes with only 45 people in here. I've said this over and over and over again, that it doesn't matter if we're talking about our main fantasy football channel or our Dynasty channel. I mean, no audience on YouTube. And I am being 100% honest when I say this, likes the videos as much as y'all do. I mean, y'all are making us be the fastest growing fantasy football channel on YouTube. And it's because y'all just show way more support than anybody else, from liking the video, leaving comments, subscribing to the channel. I mean, supporting the show on Patreon. Y'all absolutely always kill it. Okay, but anyway, Jay Wall is saying Jacobs QT in the 405 or James Robinson the 110 and Jalen Reagor in a one quarterback format. Okay, man, I will say that if you're evaluating a trade like this, especially in a one quarterback league where we know the depth in the draft is not necessarily going to be there, just completely throw out the 405, completely throw out Kiki QT, as neither player has a lot of dynasty value going forward. And you can view this as, do you want Josh Jacobs or James Robinson, the 110, and Jalen Reagor in a 1 QB? And we know in a one quarterback league, the 110 is going to be worth significantly less than it will be in a super flex format. But nonetheless, in a one quarterback league at that rookie pick 110, you're going to be looking in the range of an Elijah Moore, a Rondale Moore, a Jalen Waddle, a Rashad Bateman, a Terrace Marshall, a Trey Sermon. I mean, that's pretty much one big tier that you can be looking at with that pick. So let's just replace it with the player in the middle of that tier. Let's go Rashad Bateman. Okay, let's call the 110 Bateman. Even if he isn't your guy, just replace him with Elijah Moore, replace him with Rondale Moore. It's all pretty much the same. And then we're looking at this as Josh Jacobs or James Robinson, Rondale Moore, and Jalen Reagor in a one quarterback format. And in that sense, I think you have to go with the package, understanding that Josh Jacobs is looking like he really has a ceiling capped going into this year, given the money that they decided to give Kenyon Drake, given the fact that this is not going to be a super productive offense where you can expect that the starting running back on only first and second downs is going to be getting so much usage in the goal line that they have access to have a top 5 overall finish in touchdowns. So yeah, no, we're going to be going James Robinson there, even though I think that James Robinson is almost completely toast with Travis Etienne coming in. Okay. So Lil Pump is asking, what is your take on Deandre Swift's value? I feel like the Lions are going to have a very efficient offense this year. Okay, so with Deandre Swift, it would be very different if he profiled to be a first and second down running back compared to a pass catching guy, because we know that even in a very inefficient offense, you can have a pass catching running back that is just going to be soaking up 80 receptions out of the backfield, be productive in a PPR format. That's what I think we are going to have with Deandre Swift. Yes, of course, you have to give him a downgrade with Matthew Stafford going over to LA, as you're most likely going to be expecting less trips to the red zone, less sustained drives, and less overall efficiency, like you already stated, with Matthew Stafford going to LA. So yes, you have to be a little bit worried with Swift, but they did decide to significantly invest into the offensive line this offseason. The Detroit offensive line looks like it's most likely going to be one of the better offensive lines in the entire NFL. So please keep that in mind. I did lower Swift down behind Akers in our Dynasty rankings, but beyond that, it's going to be too hard to move him down much more, given the fact that he is, at the end of the day, a running back on his rookie contract that is going to be playing on all 3 downs. Okay, so now let me switch over real quick and let's get this going. Let's show the screen. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to make this more appealing to y'all. And we are at 5, so let's begin this draft. And actually, let's wait until exactly 5 p.m. just so we don't ruffle any feathers, just to make sure everybody's in here. It looks like everybody is. I'm sure once we actually get this going and have that notification going off, you're going to have these teams filling out. I mean, I swear to God, if someone doesn't show up to this draft, this is a real money league, guys. That would, I don't even know what I could do at that point. That would just be detrimental to the entire league. I don't know what I would have to do. But anyway, we are at 5. So let's start this draft off. Dear future self is up here to nominate. He throws up A.J. Brown immediately. I think we are going to put $10 on A.J. Brown. And yeah, I mean, if we came away with him at that price, obviously we would be excited. I don't know if that's going to happen, but A.J. Brown going up to 19 at this point. I want to point out, everybody, that this is going to be a $200 budget. So instead of looking at the raw number with these players, it's most likely going to be better if you go through and you just try to make this more so based on the overall percentage of your budget rather than the raw number. But A.J. Brown is at 31. It looks like a lot of people are excited about A.J. Brown coming off, as you have, I mean, a ton of different teams bidding on him. It's not like it's just 2 guys going back and forth. Harperville, the man, Pristine, Icon. You have Marco Vito as well. So there are a lot of guys going after A.J. Brown. But like I said, guys, A.J. Brown is my wide receiver 1 in Dynasty. I mean, he has been a wide receiver that has historically lived off of elite efficiency. Now you have a situation where he's most likely going to be getting a significant target share as well. I mean, A.J. Brown, someone you can be very excited about. Now, he is all the way up to $35 here. So at this price point, I'm not going to be interested. But like I said, guys, please don't pay attention too much to what I'm saying about these player values through this startup draft, because I have gotten crushed as of late in the mock drafts. So I don't want to act like I'm an expert by any means. We can sit around and we can wait to see how these teams look at the end before we say anything for sure. Lil Pump says, is this a mock? No, this is not a mock draft. This is a real life Dynasty startup draft that we are hosting through Patreon. There is a buy-in, not only the Patreon dues, but there is a league pot for someone to come in, win first, they get money, win second, they get money, win third, they get money. I mean, it's a real league, guys. I promise y'all that. But Mahomes is up here, and immediately we have to go aggressive on Mahomes. Let's bump him up to what A.J. Brown went for, but no. Anyway, of course, he's already way past what A.J. Brown went for at $48. Now, let's go $63 up to Patrick Mahomes. This is a price point where I am just not going to feel, I'm not going to be able to pay this price. So I don't know why this pass, but what does that pass button do? I don't know, but nonetheless, 65 at this point. But oh my gosh. Okay, Rock Lee comes in the chat, says, I didn't want A.J. Brown a bid on accident. I am on the phone. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. Please be careful going forward. Do not get any more of those accidental bids in. That is one thing that Sleeper definitely needs to fix. They need to fix just having a confirm button, whether you're bidding on a player or drafting a player, because that is a situation that happens a lot. But Mahomes goes off the board for $66. So with my simple little lizard brain math, I'm going to assume that's about, what, 30% of the overall budget. Please, someone let me know if I am wrong on that. Let me just divide 66 by 200 real quick to make sure I'm not a complete idiot. No, that's 33% of the budget, not 30%. But you have Herbert up here. Let's bump Herbert immediately to $30. I mean, Herbert is a quarterback that you can get very excited about. This is a team that invested into the offensive line with Rashawn Slater coming in. If we came away with Herbert at 30, of course, we would be excited. But no, that's not going to happen. We are immediately going to get bid up. And let me know if y'all think I am just making excuses or this is something that I should potentially be worried about. But it's kind of hard for people in a draft to specifically attack me, to specifically go after me and try to steal my players. But in an auction, I think it's probably a lot easier for people to come in and for people to try to just outbid me with the guys that I am targeting. Let me know if y'all think I'm just making excuses and why I am going to fail this startup. But let me know if you think there's anything behind that. Okay, Geoff says, how do I get in one of your leagues? Okay, if you want to get in one of those leagues, just make sure you are supporting the show on Patreon. You are a part of the flock on Patreon. And then what I do is essentially we probably have one startup a week going at this point, and I just make an announcement over on Patreon. I go, hey, this is the league we're starting. Here are the exact league settings. Here's the date and the time it's getting kicked off. If you can make it, shoot me a DM, and the first 11 people to shoot me a DM on Patreon get their spot in the league, assuming that they have not already joined a league this offseason, and then that is how we get it going that way. Okay, let me also try to move the screen up a little bit. That looks a little bit better. Dom Cost says, are you drafting rookie picks? No, actual rookies are in this startup, not just rookie picks. But, okay, thank God we almost pressed the offer button on Kyler Murray. Now, he is up to $51. I think at this price point, we are just going to have to be sitting out on Kyler based on the fact that, I mean, there are a lot of roster spots to be had, and I got burned by going too hard on certain players at the very beginning of other auction drafts. So I think we are going to be just sitting that one out. Now here, let's throw up Christian McCaffrey. Let's put him up for an automatic $40 just because I don't want to waste any time here. We can't be live streaming for 6 hours. That's another thing I want to discuss. We are going to be live streaming throughout the entire duration of the startup draft, except once every team only gets $1 left per player, then we are going to be switching to a slow draft. But the majority of this should be live stream. I mean, this may be a 3 or 4 hour live stream. So, of course, please, guys, I am grinding out here. Go down there, drop that like, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell if you have not already, because this is a grind. Okay, so Josh says, should I go 3 running backs to start my 10-man startup drafting at 8? Yes, of course, it depends on the value a lot of the times, But in a 10-man league, I mean, definitely you're going to be wanting to go for those running backs, as the wide receivers really are going to be so deep that they're going to be very replaceable once you get down to the end, and the demand just isn't going to be there. But we know it is very hard to find those just 3-down guys consistently. But Christian McCaffrey going off the board for $50, that does look like a very good value if you compare it to Patrick Mahomes at $66 or even Kyler Murray at $50. So I like that CMC price if we were comparing it to other players that are currently here. Okay, let's go and let's bid. I think that I'm just so scarred from not having enough money at the end of the past few auctions that I think that we kind of just have to sit out here. I mean, maybe I'm making a mistake. Maybe, I mean, these players are values at this point. I think this is possibly a little bit less than what they went for in the other mock auctions. But I got so burned where, I mean, we didn't even have half of a starting lineup, and I was literally just trying to backfill with $1 players. I mean, it was ugly, and I think that we need to try to avoid that situation the best we can this time around. So let's try to sit it out. Hopefully we're not making a mistake, but of course we could easily be doing that. Okay, Darian says, will this be uploaded after the draft? I can't watch the whole stream. Yes, sir. This will definitely be uploaded after the draft. Do not worry about that. Okay, so Mark is up to nominate. So Justin Jefferson goes for $31, $3 less than A.J. Brown. So in about the same range you would expect. Like I said, guys, I mean, A.J. Brown is my wide receiver 1 in Dynasty. There are just so many things pointing to the fact that he is going to be a fantastic value. Now, let's get these bids going up here with Jonathan Taylor. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, just like what we were talking about earlier in that 10-man league, when you want to be trying to attack those 3-down running backs specifically on their rookie contracts, I mean, that is what Jonathan Taylor is. Jonathan Taylor, well, yes, I did not like what the offseason did for him in the Indianapolis Colts, where they really didn't bring in that many pieces on offense. They just brought up some pieces to secure the defensive side of the ball. But nonetheless, I mean, Jonathan Taylor is one of the most talented running backs in the entire NFL. He is only 22 years old at this point. If he was in this draft class, he would have been a significantly better prospect than both Najee Harris and Travis Etienne. But like I said, we're probably just going to be sitting this out. I can't get burnt again. I can't be the guy overpaying for the players at the beginning. Not saying that these players are going for too much. Jonathan Taylor was projected to go for $48 in this sleeper auction, and he ends up going for $46. So like I said, I am not an expert in this. We are doing the best we can. We should have created a sheet. We did not. So we are going to continue to grind away. But let's throw 36 on Josh Allen. I think we'd be very happy to come away with Josh Allen for 36. Now, how much do we go up? I think we would be willing to go 38 on Josh Allen at the same time. I mean, he is projected to go for $54 from Sleeper. Now, that is not everything, but at the end of the day, I mean, a 38 price tag on Josh Allen would not be the worst thing in the world. Okay, so it looks like, actually, no, I thought we were going to win Josh Allen for $38, but Mark bids him up at the last second, up to $39. Now, this is a great value if you're comparing it to the other quarterbacks that went off the board. I mean, Justin Herbert went for $44. You had Kyler Murray for $50. You had Patrick Mahomes for $66. Maybe I should have just had the balls to go through and push that button one more time on Josh Allen. But like I said, guys, I am scared. I am trembling in this right now. Let's go through, and JN says, can you trade players for dollars in this? Maybe. I don't think that's going to be something you can do live. At least I know I'm not going to be able to do it live just because I'm going to be running with all this streaming stuff. But maybe once we switch over to where we are bidding $1 on players, maybe that's something you can do. Not exactly sure, though. Hopefully. I mean, we could see a trade, but I just don't know yet. Okay, so Alvin Kamara currently for $36. Keep in mind that Josh Allen went for $39. You had Christian McCaffrey for $50. You had Jonathan Taylor for $46. So a few of those players in that same range. But it looks like you have two guys, Mark and Super Teams Only, going back and forth with Alvin Kamara. Please let me know in the general chat, guys, what y'all are thinking with these current values right now. Let me know if you think that these players at the top are being a little bit overpriced or a little bit underpriced. I am just simply scarred from what's happened over the past few mock drafts. Okay, Matthew says, what the hell? How did Josh Allen go for under 40? Man, Josh Allen went for under 40 because the guy behind the screen right here on the Fantasy Flock Network is a little scared child. I will tell you that. So he did not press the button one more time on Josh Allen, allowing Mark to get a great value, possibly the best value of this entire startup. JN says, when you got then $200 and the other dudes have a hard line for their bids, you'll be eating. Hopefully, I mean, it's hard to say, though, because you have to balance making sure that you're getting your guys as well as having the other players just stay on the board because, I mean, talent's going to dry up eventually. So if you have a few teams with a ton of money, yet there's not that much talent available on the draft board, then you're going to have just players like Chris Godwin being bid up to the same price point as a Justin Jefferson. That's why it's very hard to say that you should be saving your money till the end or you should be spending it at the beginning. It's all about the right price. It's all about the balance that you should have. Okay, so let's go through. Dom Cost says, I went 5 straight running backs in my 10-man startup. Man, please let us know in the chat what those 5 running backs were. Let us know what draft pick you were picking out of because that is wild. But Dalvin Cook up on the board. And let's point out that Derrick Henry just went off for $35. That is something that's notable because Dalvin Cook, he's a lot closer to Alvin Kamara than he is with Derrick Henry with his long-term contract security. But nonetheless, he is one of those running backs on their second contracts, a veteran that you should expect to have a ton of production really early on. But the long-term value, you have to question it at the very least slightly. But I mean, here looks like Dalvin Cook going for $38, $37. I'm sorry. That is a great value. It looks like Mark maybe has one of the best drafts so far with Josh Allen at 39, Dalvin Cook at 37. If you compare this to some other prices, I mean, this is only $2 more than Derrick Henry. This is $3 less than Alvin Kamara. So looks like that's a very good price point. But here, let's go with Saquon Barkley. Let's pull off. Actually, no, we're live streaming. I can't talk about my strategy right now exactly, but let's wait a little bit, see if Saquon's going to fall to a range that we want. Okay, so my plan with Saquon was I was going to wait to bid at the very end, hopefully keeping his price in the low 40s, high 30s, but of course, that's not going to happen. Of course, Saquon Barkley already bid up to the mid 40s. Barkley is my running back 1 in Dynasty. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but I mean, you're looking at the talent profile. You're looking at the fact that you have New York going through and just adding on so many different skill positional players, hopefully increasing the overall efficiency of the offense. And Saquon Barkley is extremely young still on his rookie contract. So I love Barkley. I mean, he is my running back 1. I understand anybody wanting to have Christian McCaffrey over him. If I was in a startup draft and I was on the fence, I would take Christian McCaffrey myself, understanding the trade value between the two. But Saquon Barkley going at $49. I was hoping we were going to get a slight discount on him, but that does not happen. Okay, Joshua says, hey man, love your videos. Quick question. I traded Kyle Pitts and Javonte Williams for DK Metcalf. What do you think of that trade? 12-team Dynasty Superflex. Okay, no, I'm sorry. There was a lot more to this trade. Okay, so you traded Kyle Pitts and Javonte Williams for DK Metcalf, a 2022 first, and Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd at this point with T. Higgins and, I'm sorry, Jamar Chase coming in. I mean, it's going to be very hard to say Tyler Boyd's anybody that you can project to have a high floor, have a high, I mean, he's never had a high ceiling. So I just want to kind of throw him out this trade and look at you trading Kyle Pitts and Javonte Williams for DK Metcalf and a 2022 first. Now, it's close. I will say that it's going to be a lot closer than what a lot of people want to tell you. And that's just because I am of the opinion that a lot of times, unless you're playing in a very specific dynasty format, that you want to be making sure you are trying to devalue the wide receiver position with how replaceable it is. And you want to be making sure you are attacking the running back position in Javonte Williams, getting the draft capital that I initially did not think that he would. I mean, Javonte Williams definitely a riser after the NFL draft. So it's close, man. I will say that. It's going to depend a lot on your team construction, but it's not something that I automatically love just by hearing about it. Okay, so Tyreek Hill here. Tyreek Hill is a wide receiver that I do really like in Dynasty. Let's throw $23 on Tyreek Hill. I mean, you do have Devontae Adams going for 28. You have A.J. Brown going for 34. Okay, so yeah, if we can get Tyreek Hill for less than what you had Devontae Adams going off the board for, that would probably be something we'd be excited about. But no, he's already bid up to what Devontae Adams was. I think we're just going to sit out at this point. Like I said, I am scarred from the past few drafts, but we have to pay attention to the fact that the talent pool is not necessarily going to be fantastic the entire time. We have to make sure that we are at least having money when there are still players available. But Tyreek Hill going off for $29. So it looks like maybe that A.J. Brown bid was just a couple dollars too much, with Tyreek Hill being $5 less and Devontae Adams being $6 less. But Super Teams only did come in, and he said that A.J. Brown last minute bid was an accident to throw $34 on him. So, I mean, just say A.J. Brown would have gone for 33 instead of 34. Okay. Jesse in the general chat real quick is saying 10-team Question, I traded the 103 and a mid to late 2022 first for Cam Akers. Now I have Akers, Dobbins, and Eckler. I don't love that value. I understand it in a 10-team one quarterback league, though, because if you're talking about a 10-team one quarterback league at the 103, you're most likely looking at a player like Jamar Chase. What I would have preferred to know is I would have preferred to know what the first two players were that came off the board. But oh my God, we weren't paying attention. We were not paying attention. I need to stop reading the chat. Trevor Lawrence just went off for $28. Oh, did that really just happen? Oh my God, yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is embarrassing. I kind of want to turn off the stream at this point. I don't want to say I ruined the draft, but how did we not throw an extra dollar? How did we not bid Trevor Lawrence up to? Oh my God. Congrats, Pristine Auction. That is going to be the best draft pick in the entire draft. I mean, oh my God. I'm just embarrassed. There's nothing else to say. That is embarrassing on my part for letting Trevor Lawrence go for $28. This is not a mock draft either, guys. This is a real money league. I mean, I have money on the line. I'm trying to win the league pot here. I'm not trying to play for second. Oh my God, guys, that is very tough. I'm gonna have to focus a little bit more on this auction draft, a little less on the questions in the general chat. But please drop a like for my struggles. Now you have Kyle Pitts going up to $20. Okay, so I mean, compared to Trevor Lawrence, of course, any player compared to Trevor Lawrence at this point is of course going to be a great value. But congrats on Trevor Lawrence for $28. I already know we can already call that the best value in the entire draft. God dang. That's probably going to ruin my night. Joshua was saying, sorry, man, I didn't know this was real money. No, do not think that's your fault for asking a question. That's 100% my fault for not paying attention. I will say that. Okay, let's go and let's throw up Irv Smith Jr. Let's try to sneak Irv in here. Let's go off the board. See what happens real quick. Hey, looks like we may just be getting Irv Smith for $1. Okay, I'm just trying to see how this strategy works out. Just trying to see what bumping up one of our players that we want near the end at the beginning. Let's see how that plays out. Okay, so Tankopotamus does come in and he throws an extra $1 on Irv Smith. So it looks like that strategy is probably not going to work out right away because you have Harperville coming in, putting an extra $1 on Irv Smith Jr. I just wanted to see if we could sneak Irv Smith under the radar when everybody else was going at different players, but no, that did not happen. So yeah, lesson learned. Now we know that for the rest of the draft. Okay, so Tankopotamus up here to nominate, and I'm sorry I'm not reading the chat, but just making sure we don't have another player like Trevor Lawrence going off for 28. Now, let me know if y'all can see this. Let me know if this is a good view of the draft for y'all. Would you prefer looking at the draft board like this or me having the player name a little bit higher? Let me know what's in more visually appealing format. Okay, Russ, y'all know Russ is my guy. We'll throw $26 on Russell Wilson, trying to pull him off. He is projected to go for 43. I know we said we were not going to be bidding on players early on, but if we could pull off Russell Wilson for 26, that's something we're going to do. Now, Pristine Auction, of course, this mother effer who came in and got Trevor Lawrence for 28 is also trying to get Russell Wilson for 27. That is not going to happen. We have to come over the top on that. Russ is my guy. What's really nice about Russ is once you get him, you can go through and you can also stack him with other players. Now, he is bumped up a few extra dollars to 31. Now, this is the point where it's tough because, I mean, Russell Wilson is a player I really like, but I think we want to be saving our money. I think at this point we should be saving our money. I'm just going to try to be a little bit stubborn when we're going through and doing this. We're going to try to be stubborn. We're going to try to save our money just because I don't want to be put in this position that we were in the past few mock drafts. Okay, so Wesley says, I like the players lower. Harrison says, the new format. Okay, perfect. ALD Wolfpack says, just sent you a like for your Lawrence struggles. Thank you, my dude. Really, really appreciate it. Okay, so now Nick Chubb is up. Keep in mind, some players that you would expect to go near Nick Chubb in a Dynasty startup would be someone like Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry went for $35 in this. And now Nick Chubb going automatically up to 30. So it looks like maybe these quarterbacks at this point are going to be a great value. I mean, you have Nick Chubb at a higher bid price than what Russell Wilson and Trevor Lawrence went off the board with. So, I mean, it looks like maybe the running backs are being a little bit overvalued. Maybe the quarterbacks are being a little bit undervalued. But these are just trends that I'm noticing. Like I said, I could easily be wrong. Now, Chinder comes at us. He nominates our guy. Y'all know we are going to be going hard after Trey Lance. Now, of course, we're going to be trying to save our money till the end. So I want to see what other people are doing with Lance immediately. I don't know if we can get him up to that same range as a Russell Wilson, just out of principle. I mean, Russ is also our guy. But okay. Yeah, y'all know we are going to be coming in on Trey Lance. Okay, Chinder, back off. Okay, F it. Let's get our guy. Let's have fun with this. Let's throw 27 on Lance. I know it's probably a little bit of an overpay if you look at, Trevor Lawrence going for 28. Okay, so yeah, no, at this point, I think we probably let Lance go off now that Lance is going for more than Trevor Lawrence. Lance is in the same range as a Russell Wilson. And keep in mind, I don't want to be comparing players to Trevor Lawrence because that was a price point that should have never happened. But yeah, Trey Lance, great value there at the for $29. I'm just a little scared child at this point. So we're going to be trying to observe, then just pick up value where we can later on. Okay, Joshua says, I drafted Trey Lance and Najee in my Dynasty this year. Trey Lance is going to be star. Yeah, man, I am all in on Trey Lance, and I've talked about that over and over and over again. I mean, if this was a Dynasty draft where we are a little bit more comfortable with the format, I would have been more comfortable going harder in on Trey Lance. But at this point, I think we are just going to be trying to take a back seat. We're going to be making sure that we don't ruin our team like we did in the mock draft. So just saving some money. Now, Deandre Swift, an automatically aggressive bid at $32 to nominate. Very rarely are you seeing a player get nominated on the board around that range. But anyway, you do have another bid coming in. It looks like Deandre Swift is going to be going for slightly more than Nick Chubb. I think that's probably a fair range if you're comparing him to the other running backs. I mean, he went for less than Derrick Henry. That's a great price on Deandre Swift. Okay, so let's see. How many players are still left? I'm going to pull this up real quick, guys, just so we can kind of keep track of the talent on the draft board so we don't just end up with a ton of money with no players left on the board. Okay, so Akers, Dobbins, Zeke, Gibson, Harris, Mixon, CEH. Okay, so there are some players. ETN. Wide receivers, there are just a butt ton of wide receivers. And they're pretty much all decent tight ends still available. So we're not too scared at this point. So it looks like super teams only may be going extremely hard for a few of these guys. If he comes away with DK Metcalf here, that would be insane, having A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, and DK Metcalf. Okay, he throws another dollar on Metcalf, trying to get probably the best wide receiver group in the entire league. But yeah, okay, no, Harperville, it looks like these two guys that don't have much money left, they're going hard on these players early on. You can't really blame them either. Oh, let's point out real quick, Harperville, yes, he has spent all his money, but he has two very intriguing things going on here. He has the Kansas City Chiefs stack with Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, and he has the Seattle Seahawks stack with Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf. I definitely prefer the price of the Seahawks stack compared to the Chiefs, with 31 for Metcalf and 30 for Wilson. Really like how he pulled that off. I think if we could trade him right now, $61 to get both DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson on our team, that would be something we'd be very excited for. Now, Dak Prescott is nominated here by Jay Alexander. And here with Jay Alexander, I mean, he hasn't spent much money at all. So you have to question, hey, is he trying to get other people to blow their load on Dak Prescott, or is he himself trying to get Dak Prescott for the cheap? Okay, so he's bidding on Dak. This is something I'm trying to take note of. I'm trying to take note of what owners are nominating players that they want versus nominating players that they don't have too much interest in. Okay, but here, let's go throw another dollar on Dak Prescott. I mean, if we could get Dak Prescott for 25, that's something we'd be very excited about. I think we'll throw 28 on Dak as well. I know you look at Lawrence going for 28, and I know a lot of people are going to say that's a bad price to spend on Dak in comparison. Okay, so let's see. Should we go 30 on Dak? Oh, okay, yeah. We are not going to be too scared here on out. Let's just throw an extra dollar on Dak Prescott. I mean, you look in comparison, you had Justin Herbert going for 44. You had Kyler Murray going for 50. Okay, so come on, Mason. Come on, Mason. Okay, that was probably a bad bid. We probably shouldn't have done that. This is too nerve-wracking. This is why I should have made a spreadsheet. But anyway, we throw $32 on Dak Prescott. Okay, good. McCranville comes in with 33. We are fine leaving him for that price. I just wanted to make sure that he wasn't going off too cheaply. Okay, so there 33 for Dak. I'm fine letting him go for that. Okay, the football therapist saying, just got off work. Is this real league? Was there watching the mocks? Yes, this is a real league. This is our newest Patreon Flock Dynasty startup. So yeah, if you can tell, I have not spent a single dollar on any of these players, and mainly because I am terrified of what happened in the mock drafts. I'm terrified of being left at the very end with no money left. Now, maybe we're just ruining our team the other way by not getting any quality players at the beginning, but let's just see how it plays out. Okay, so let's kind of be a little bit patient here with Joe Burrow. Yeah, I'm just trying to compare him to these other guys. Okay, so let's compare him to Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott with where they went. I don't want to compare him to a guy like Trevor Lawrence just because Trevor Lawrence was such a great value. You're not going to see that matched really anywhere else. Now, if we could get Joe Burrow for 27, we'd be fine with that. But no, Tankopotamus comes over the top with 30. At that point, do we go, okay, I think at this point we maybe just let him have him. Please, guys, let me know what y'all are thinking of this auction so far. Let me know if y'all think I'm ruining my team. Be honest with me. Be honest with me. JN says you can afford to overpay $2 to $3. JN, do not come in here with that argument when you saw how bad I did in the mock drafts. Do not do that. Okay, here, the pressure is on because, to be completely honest, guys, we had like 9 Flock Patreon Dynasty leagues last year, and I made the playoffs in every single one besides one league. In that one league, I missed the playoffs by a single spot. I mean, I earned the 106 rookie pick. We dominated in the Flock leagues. We ended up winning 25% of them, and we ended up making it to the finals in about half of the Flock Patreon leagues. So we have a reputation that we need to hold up. And I mean, it's very easy to go through a startup draft and dominate a startup draft when you have that kind of experience. But in the auction draft, I mean, it's a lot harder to say that with confidence. Okay, so DeAndre Hopkins, I will point out, guys, in the mock draft, we went $33 on DeAndre Hopkins. I really hated that price. It really ruined our team. But here, the man comes in, and he gets that Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins stack that we got in our first rookie auction. Now, that's an intriguing stack to have. He does do it at a cheaper price than I did in the mock draft whenever we spent, I believe, like 56 on Kyler Murray and 33 on DeAndre Hopkins. But nonetheless, I mean, nice stack. You love to see teams actively going and chasing those stacks. Okay, so now Zeke is up. Let's keep in mind where some of the other running backs went. You had Dalvin Cook for 37. You had Derrick Henry for 35. Now, like I said, guys, I sent out a tweet the other day going, hey, Ezekiel Elliott has more touches in the NFL than any other running back signed on a contract in 2021 outside of Mark Ingram. At what point do we have to be a little bit worried about a fall off coming? And a lot of people are saying Mason. I think we have to worry about that now. A lot of people are going Mason. I mean, he is signed 2 years with guaranteed money. We're going to let him go off the board here for $27, which probably is a mistake on my part. That's probably a great value. Let's pull up the draft board here, making sure that there are still players that have talent available. Hopefully there are. Okay. There are like 5 running backs that we can get excited about. There are how many quarterbacks? There's some quarterbacks. There are not that many players. There are not that many guys. I think we made a mistake here, guys. Okay, Joshua says, you don't want to wait for the last running backs for a bidding war. Yes, man, that is a concern that we have. I am not going to lie about that. Okay, so Aaron Jones is nominated. Let's keep in mind that Zeke went for 27. Let's throw $20 on Aaron Jones real quick. Just get this child's play out of the way. I mean, Aaron Jones, Ezekiel Elliott, very similar at this point, in my opinion. I mean, if you're talking about their long-term outlook. Now, you can make the argument that Aaron Jones does lose a little bit of value with the Aaron Rodgers rumors, but no, we'll go 23 on Aaron Jones. We'll bump it up a little bit. Legacy coming in says, is this a mock? No, man, this is not a mock draft. This is a real league, real buy-in over on Patreon. Okay, so yeah, I think we need to start getting players. At some point, we can't be watching Aaron Jones go off the board for 24 and Ezekiel Elliott go off for 27. At some point, we have to nut up and we have to throw some money on the table. Andrew says Zeke is younger. Yes, I understand. Ezekiel, what is Zeke 24 and Aaron Jones is 26? No, Zeke is 25. Aaron Jones is 26. But man, Zeke has had so many career touches. It's literally not even funny how many career touches he has had. Okay, let's not mess around here. Let's throw $15 on Jamar Chase. Like I said, money on the table. Let's go. Okay, well, they already outpriced me. They already got me in a range where I cannot afford them. Okay, Harrison says, change the title, LOL. Man, the reason I have the title like this is because I think this is a great way to look at how this is actually valued. I mean, we're not just going through a draft. We are doing an auction, seeing exactly where these players stack up. If you have the entire league able to go and bid on them, I think this is a perfect title for the video. Also, we already have 2 mock drafts titled with a startup auction mocks, so it's probably not the best to have a third one in the same week. Now, we are up to nominate. Now, what are we going to be doing here? Okay, let's go and I'm just trying to figure out our best course of action. So Josh Jacobs up. Let's get Jacobs up. We were talking about him in the live chat earlier. I'm kind of interested to see where he goes. We'd be willing to probably spend up to... I don't know how much we'd spend on Josh Jacobs. Not much, I'll tell you that. Darian says, people saying Dobbins and Akers, but Gibson's better than Dobbins. But, man, you have to also ask yourself, hey, who's going to be playing in the more productive offense between Dobbins and Gibson? Trust me, you're talking to the #1 Antonio Gibson fan going into 2020 rookie drafts. But I think it's hard to say that with too much confidence that you would rather have Gibson over Dobbins at this point. Okay, so Jacobs looks like he is going off for $11. I think we are making a mistake. Okay, Legacy says Aaron Jones for $24. Just save that guy's team since he overpaid on Murray. I mean, Aaron Jones for $24 was a fantastic price point. I will admit that. We are the... Actually, no, Jay Alexander doesn't have a single player either. It looks like Jay Alexander and us are probably going to be going to war later on, and probably starting with this first player here. So if we were talking Cam Akers, we want to be comparing him to some other players in this range. Let's compare him to a player like DeAndre Swift, who went for 33. Who else went in this similar range? I mean, you had Dalvin Cook going for 37. I mean, I would much prefer having Cam Akers over Dalvin Cook at this point. Okay, so let's go in. I just wanted to wait to bid until we got to the last 10 seconds, just so we didn't chase this price up a ton. But yeah, I mean, at the very least, you have to look at him and you have to go, he's worth what DeAndre Swift is worth. I mean, he's up there closer to a Jonathan Taylor. And we got to spend money on someone. I think Cam Akers would be a great candidate to spend some money on. Okay, so looks like, come on. Oh, God dang it. Okay. I feel like we're at a slot machine or something. It just keep on pressing this button. Here, look. We got the bid in for 28, then 29 for M4G. Okay. Here, we get Cam Akers for $34. Okay, so if we were comparing this to some other players, you had Zeke for 27. You had DeAndre Swift for 33. You had Barkley for 49. You had Kamara for 40. Taylor for 46. I'm very excited about this. I was starting to get worried that we were not going to have a single good player on this team. But no, Cam Akers for 34. I'm very excited about that price point. Now let's go on a spending spree here. You had Kyle Pitts going for $24 in this draft. Let's immediately bump Travis Kelsey up to 21. Now I want to remind everyone this is a tight end premium format. This is 1.5 points per reception. Okay, Harrison. Yeah, guys. Thank you. Drop a like if you enjoyed that Cam Akers draft pick. Drop a like if you think that was a good value. I mean, I was getting worried. I'm not going to lie. I was getting worried about how this team was shaping up, but Cam Akers at 34, I think that's a good thing to save your money for. Even if you're comparing it to Josh Jacobs at 11, I mean, I guess you can make fun of us for taking Cam Akers and spending more money on Akers than what you had with both Lance and Wilson going off the board, but I'm completely fine with that. Okay, so you do have some teams going pretty hard for Travis Kelsey, given the tight end premium format. Kelsey ends up going for $32. I mean, that is right in the same range as Cam Akers. I would definitely prefer Akers over Kelsey, even in a real tight end premium league. Okay, everybody in the chat saying we should have gotten Josh Jacobs. I just think that there will be better ways to spend $11 later on in the draft, to be completely honest. I mean, I think that what you want to do is you want to get some of these top-tier guys like Cam Akers, and those mid-range players like Jacobs. I'd rather load up on them later. I mean, if I have to spend an extra $1 or $2 to get a player in the same range as Josh Jacobs, I'm fine doing that. I just don't see Jacobs having an upside of being really a top 6. I don't even think he could be a top 10 running back at this point, to be completely honest. Now, James Robinson is put on the board. And I want to remind everyone, I believe we got James Robinson for like $4 in one of the other mock drafts. So if he's going for $7 here, over $8 here, I think we're fine just kind of sitting this one out on James Robinson. I mean, this is almost the same range as the Josh Jacobs. I think you would much prefer having Josh Jacobs for 11 compared to James Robinson for 9. So we're going to be sitting this one out. Kevin says, I think Hawkinson is the breakout tight end this year. Man, I'm all in. I would much prefer paying a smaller price for TJ Hawkinson than paying up for Kyle Pitts. I mean, I think that's a smart bet 10 out of 10 times. There are so many targets to be had in that offense. TJ Hawkinson was a fantastic player coming into the NFL draft. He's been great his first 2 seasons when he's gotten the opportunity. So yeah, I agree with that. I think Hawkinson is in line for a breakout. Okay, so now Dobbins is up on the board. Dobbins, a very similar running back profile to both Akers and Deandre Swift. Let's point out that you had Akers for 34. You had Swift for 32. Of course, we'd be happy to come in and get J.K. Dobbins at that same price point that we got Cam Akers. We will throw $34 on him. I don't know if we will go up to 36. I think we can let those other guys battle it out for J.K. Dobbins. It looks like J.K. Dobbins is going to be going for 35. It makes me feel a little bit better, to be honest, about that Cam Akers pick, even though we were already excited about it. Okay, Christopher saying you're misevaluating Jacobs. Man, please let me know what your thoughts are with Josh Jacobs, because I am looking at a running back that simply has never been used in the passing game at the NFL level. I'm looking at a running back that really didn't have a great profile coming into the NFL. And, I mean, it's not like you're going to be expecting Las Vegas to be highly prolific this upcoming season. It's not like you're going to be expecting him to get every touch in the backfield given the Kenyon Drake contract. So please let me know what I'm missing here with Josh Jacobs, but I do not think that he has upside to be a top 10 running back at this point. I mean, if you would have asked me back in 2019 if I thought that, yes, because coming into the NFL, I mean, Josh Jacobs, a common comparison, was a guy like Alvin Kamara. A lot of people thought he was going to be a great pass-catching running back. Okay, yeah, it will go 34 on Najee Harris. I mean, if we come away with Cam Akers and Najee Harris in this draft, 2 3-down running backs on their rookie contracts, come on. Let's. God dang it. Oh, okay. 35. Come on. Will we spend 35 on Najee Harris? I think at that point oh God, this is stressful. This is stressful, boys. Not gonna lie. Okay, so let's point out some. I have to check how many players are still left. I have to make sure we're not just saving up money for nobody. I'm sorry, guys. I just have to try to remind myself that we're not making a mistake, even though as I scroll down the board, it looks like we probably are. Okay, Lamar Jackson up here. I think Lamar Jackson, like I've said this before, I think he's a massive winner from the NFL draft. I mean, if you look at what the Ravens did, bringing him in weapons. Now, the question is, will we spend an extra few dollars on Lamar compared to some of these other guys? The answer to that question is yes. I think we need to at this point because I don't think there are that many quality players across the draft boards left. Now, can we go up to 36 on Lamar? I don't know if we can afford that price, so we're probably going to be sitting that one out. Yeah, especially when he's up to 37. I mean, talk about a great value with Trevor Lawrence, Russell Wilson, and Trey Lance. I mean, god dang, those quarterbacks and Joe Burrow at $30. We should have been going all in on the QBs in that range, but Lamar Jackson going for 37. Joshua was saying we have to get Lamar. We have to get him. Man, I wish we would have got him, to be honest, but looks like that does not happen. Okay, with Darren Waller, given that this is a tight end premium format, we will be willing to bump up some dollars on him, but it looks like you have a few guys going hard at the tight end position here. I mean, Darren Waller already bumped up past $20. Who is bidding on him here? Yeah, pretty much Pristine Icon and Dear Future Self. Dear Future Self himself already has Travis Kelsey, so it looks like he's maybe trying to hoard the tight end market and maybe make us overpay near the end of the auction draft, but this is very interesting. Yeah, Manny Garcia saying quarterbacks went too cheap. I completely agree with you, man, here. I mean, those quarterbacks were absurd values if you're looking in comparison of some of these wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs. I mean, just bravo to Pristine Icon, to Harperville, to Tankopotamus, and what was the other great quarterback value? Trey Lance to Chinter. I mean, we should have just sacked up and we should have bid an extra few dollars on Russell Wilson, Trey Lance, and Josh Allen. For anybody joining the chat now, I will say when Trevor Lawrence went off for 28, I was reading a question from the chat. I didn't even know Trevor Lawrence was nominated. That was on us. But Dear Future Self, throwing George Kittle on the board. Just made a video about that San Francisco 49ers offense for our main fantasy football channel that's going to come out tomorrow. And, of course, y'all know I love me some George Kittle. George Kittle is my tight end 1 in Dynasty. I mean, there's so many exciting things to be had with George Kittle. If you look at actually the full games that George Kittle played in 2020, he was the tight end 1 in points per game if you take out the 2 games that he left early. I know that's hard to extrapolate, and I know that's hard to say that he is going to continue that throughout the course of the entire year. But nonetheless, I mean, George Kittle is someone with so much talent. And dear future self pulling off a ridiculous strategy, getting Travis Kelsey, Darren Waller, and George Kittle all in the same draft. Okay, I am very excited to see how this plays out. I think a lot of people are going to be fighting for tight ends later on. I mean, maybe that comes away looking like a genius move. I simply can't say at this point. We have to look at what the other tight end prices are going to be later on now that you have those guys going. But, oh, man, that is great. You have 3 elite tight ends going to one team. Let me know what y'all are thinking about that in the chat. Let me know if you think that's just absolutely insane. Let me know if you think that is probably something that's smart. But what's not smart is we are going to throw an extra... Oh, what just happened? Okay, thank God. Okay, we lagged out. I thought that Aaron Rodgers went for $14. So, okay, that was really scary. I think we'll throw $17 on. I mean, what's great if you get Aaron Rodgers... I mean, a lot of your quarterbacks, you can only watch them on Sundays, but Aaron Rodgers, you may be able to watch him every day as he goes through and host Jeopardy. So if that's the case, I think that you have to be a little bit excited about Rodgers. Now oh my God, this is a bad mistake. Okay, I did not want Rodgers for $19 to be completely transparent. I was trying to bid him up thinking that we were going to have M4G coming at us to try to get Rodgers from us. Oh, okay, I did not want Rodgers for 19. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. But at the very least, I mean, maybe we get to see him on Jeopardy. Maybe we at least get some points for that. But another quarterback that we don't know what to expect from in 2021 up on the board in Deshaun Watson. Now, y'all know I am on record saying Deshaun Watson is a quarterback that I'm willing to take the risk on. I am not going to be playing the moral high ground here. I'm going to be trying to win a dynasty league. And I've seen the NFL time and time again prioritize making money and having the players on the field that are going to make them money playing. So for that reason, I think that a lot of people are overblowing the actual risk that you have when selecting Deshaun Watson. I think more so the risk is coming along with the fact that the Houston Texans are such a bad franchise. But yeah, we'll throw $19 in on Deshaun Watson. I think if we come away with both quarterbacks that have a ton of uncertainty in Watson and Aaron Rodgers, that would probably be a funny start to this draft. But no, we get bid up an extra $1 on Deshaun Watson. Pristine Icon definitely killed this auction. I mean, he has the best start here with Taylor, Swift, Lawrence, and Watson, and he still has money to play with. I mean, Pristine Icon, bravo to you. I wish we could trade teams right now. I mean, you are absolutely killing it. Okay, Angel saying Rodgers won't play this year. Harrison saying that's good value for Rodgers. Okay, I will say, guys, if y'all are kind of new to the channel, if you don't really know how we attack Dynasty Leagues, what we are doing almost every single time is we are chasing upside. Everything that we do is upside, 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 specifically for Dynasty, because in Dynasty, what's the worst case scenario? What's the worst case scenario if you just have a draft pick and things go completely sideways? Say you draft a guy like Deshaun Watson and it's announced tomorrow Deshaun Watson is suspended for the entire 2021 season. Okay, worst case scenario, crap. Looks like I'm not winning this year, but hey, great news for you is in a 12-man league, 11 guys don't win. So you're not necessarily an extreme outlier. So all that happens is you kind of transition over and you become a rebuilding team. You punt for the following season. You earn the one-on-one. So worst case scenario still isn't that bad. Still, you're going productive struggle. So we are willing to kind of roll the dice and try to hit that overall upside by taking those risky assets. I mean, this is why we are trading for Tyreek Hill an insane amount in that kind of just hazy offseason that he had. Okay, now let's go and let's throw up. Who do we want? Let's throw up Justin Fields. And let's throw him up for $15. Now, y'all know Justin Fields. Obviously, we don't want Justin Fields. I'm assuming that someone's probably going to be going through and outbidding us on Fields, but let's see. Danny says Rodgers to Denver, Sutton, Upcraft. Yeah, man. I mean, if Rodgers goes to Denver, you have Sutton, you have Judy, Hamler, Fant, Javonte Williams. They're all skyrocketing in value. But no way. Are they going to leave us Justin Fields here? Oh, okay. For a second, I thought they were going to leave us Justin Fields here. I mean, y'all know I am not the biggest fan of Justin Fields on the planet, but for $15, we'd easily take Justin Fields. I mean, that's a easy investment, to be honest. At this point, do we go 18? Okay, so it looks like we don't have to make that decision. He is bumped up for us. We are about to kind of price and force on Justin Fields. I think maybe we still do. This is nerve-wracking. Okay, Christian and I were having a conversation on Patreon earlier today where he was trying to convince us that we were wrong with our Justin Fields evaluation. He did lay out a very intriguing argument to be made. But no, man, I'm still going to be sticking to my guns. I'm still going to be avoiding Justin Fields where we can. Okay, now Clyde Edwards-Helaire is up on the board. We know Clyde Edwards-Helaire, one of the last intriguing running backs left. Now, Jay Alexander coming in hard. Jay Alexander has not spent a single dollar so far. So he throws 29 on CEH. I think we'd be willing to go 30. So let's go throw that in. Okay, keep in mind we had Cam Akers going for 34. You had Deandre Swift going for 33. Now, it looks like Jay Alexander and Chinder, two guys that do have a ton of money, are going back and forth with CEH. Now, do we go 35? No, we don't even get the option. Take Eponymous comes over the top. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire, someone that I like. I think that we made a mistake getting Rodgers for 19. I was trying to price and force. We got caught. That was a bad decision by me. I would have much preferred to get a quarterback like Russell Wilson for 30 and just spent an extra $11. But, I mean, that's sometimes what happens when you're price enforcing. Okay, so guys, if you have not already, go down there, drop a like on the live stream. It helps us out so much. And we are probably going to be live streaming for, I'd imagine, like 3-4 hours today. And literally you have nobody else doing that. You have nobody else doing this. Show some love on the channel if you have not already. I mean, we are out grinding everybody here. Okay, so now Mark Andrews is up. So if you look around, I mean, you had Kyle Pitts for 24. You had TJ Hawkinson for 23. You had Darren Waller for 24. So it looks like maybe those tight ends were a good value with Mark Andrews getting bumped up here. I did talk about on the main fantasy football channel that Mark Andrews does look like a loser, in my opinion, from the NFL draft, mainly just from the offseason, and that you had Baltimore bringing in so many different pass catchers to that offense, and I just think it's going to take a hit with the overall target share for Mark Andrews. So while Andrews was someone that I got wrong last offseason, I mean, I thought that he was going to be taking a jump up. I thought he was going to be an elite tight end. I mean, we can just safely say, hey, we got wrong. I mean, we were wrong. We were wrong all the time in Dynasty, and Andrews was one of the cases. Okay, so now let's read the chat. It looks like everybody was just completely slamming us for not bidding up Justin Fields at $21. Yeah, I'll say the Fields price was pretty good. I mean, y'all know that I'm talking about Justin Fields being overvalued in Dynasty a lot, but that's because Justin Fields has been going higher than a lot of guys like Russell Wilson, going higher than guys like Trey Lance. But no, $21 for Fields, that's a good value. I'm just going to say that. I mean, props on Pristine Icon just smashing this draft with another great value player in Justin Fields. I mean, Pristine Icon, please, man, we're probably going to have a chat on Patreon. You're probably going to have to tell me exactly how you attacked this, what I can do better going forward, because clearly you know what you're doing in these auctions a lot better than I do. Okay, Joshua says Rashad Bateman will be a stud this year. Nominate him next. Man, I mean, he can be a very good NFL player, but I mean, the system's not going to be that great. Okay, Jay Alexander really going hard after these guys now. I mean, you have Antonio Gibson automatically bumped up to $36. We spent $34 on Cam Akers. DeAndre Swift went for $33. Clyde Edwards-Helaire went for $35. Najee Harris went for $35. So, I mean, we can't throw $37 on Antonio Gibson. I just simply can't do that. Yeah, I mean, Justin Fields for 21 compared to just, say, Antonio Gibson for 36. I mean, Justin Fields was a great value in this draft. And y'all know that I'm the first person to say that I think in most Dynasty leagues, Justin Fields is overvalued, but that's not the case here. Okay, Darian says Super Team only has the best team. Let me see. He has Kamara, A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, and Kyle Pitts. No, I mean, no, that's nothing close to Pristine Icon. I mean, Super Team only is going to have a very hard time getting quarterbacks with only a $20 max bid left. Pristine Icon has the best team. I mean, he's going to be able to soak up a bunch of wide receiver value later on for pretty cheap. Okay, so David Montgomery is up here. We will throw some money on David Montgomery. I mean, you're comparing him to a guy like Josh Jacobs that went for 11. A lot of people are going, Mason, you need Josh Jacobs at 11. So he is bumped up here to $13. Now, okay, I need to stop looking at the chat. I need to see what players are left. I need to see how much money we should be actually saving. Okay, it looks like not many players are left at all. It looks like we have to start spending money, and I know I said this multiple times now, but yeah. Oh, okay, Mason, get it behind your. Start understanding that we are spending money on players from now on. You have to, you can't just trade this in for real life money. You have to spend it on players. Andrew says, I would take Jacobs over Montgomery. Man, I do not agree with that. I've been on record for being a David Montgomery hater for a very long time now. But no, I mean, you have to have David Montgomery over Josh Jacobs at this point. You have to have it. I mean, I don't even think that's something you could really argue, to be honest. Am I the only one, when you see Aaron Rodgers on your Dynasty team, you kind of feel gross? Is that something else that other people feel? Is that just something that I've wrong in my psyche and I probably need to talk to a psychiatrist or something about it? But literally, like, seeing Aaron Rodgers on my Dynasty team, I would probably rather see an empty spot, and I think I would probably feel better about it, to be honest. I mean, I just hate looking up and looking at Aaron Rodgers there. Okay, like I said, guys, we have to spend money. We have to start spending this. There are not that many players left. So we're going to be coming in. We're going to be spending. We just have to. Now, the other guy with money here, kind of chasing us on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, winner of this offseason. F it. We're going $20. I can't be sitting around at the end of the draft with a ton of money with no players left on the board. We'll go $20 on Jalen Hurts. Okay, 20. Will we go 22? That is the question. Will we go 22 on Hurts? The answer to that is no. We are a scared little child, as always. Okay, so come on, Mason. Let's see who's available. Okay, so how many starting quarterbacks? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty much got 5 starting quarterbacks that are going to be going for money. Running backs, you got 4. Wide receivers, you got like 10. Maybe 12, maybe 11. Tight ends, got Noah Fant. That's about it. Okay, so if we look around, let's see how much money people have left. Actually, no, I don't think we're in a bad spot. I don't think we're in a bad spot at all. I mean, the only people with money left are Jay Alexander, Chinder, us. And that's it. Actually, I don't think no, M4G has money left. M4G has money left. This is why we should have built a sheet out. This is why we should have built a sheet. But CeeDee Lamb going for $32. I think that's a completely fair price for CeeDee Lamb. Goes in the same range of a Tyreek Hill, a DK Metcalf, a Justin Jefferson, and AJ Brown. Now, y'all know that I've been on record saying that, I mean, I really like CeeDee Lamb in Dynasty. I don't know if we could go through and pay a little bit more than both Tyreek Hill and DK Metcalf went off the board for. But, I mean, you really didn't know what the values were going to be later on. Yeah, Joshua saying Fields going that low was criminal. Guys, I completely agree with y'all. I mean, Justin Fields at $21 was a great value. Okay, now Noah Fant, someone that I really like. Well, of course, we are going to be coming in and bidding up Noah Fant. I mean, Noah Fant, I think that maybe at this point we would probably prefer having him over a Mark Andrews. Now, super teams only being annoying as crap here. I almost want to let him have Noah Fant. That way he has no money to bid us up on players later. But we'll go up to $13 with Noah Fant. M4G coming in over the top. I mean, you had Hawkinson going for 23, and that wasn't even a bad value. I think that we are going to, quote-unquote, overpay here slightly for Noah Fant, given the fact that Dear Future Self loaded up on 3 tight ends earlier. So I think you're going to have a lot of other teams kind of just desperate to go out there and try to snag a tight end. So, yeah, I think if we get Noah Fant here for 15, that's going to be something I'm fine with, especially if you have Aaron Rodgers going to Denver. I think what we can do here is we can possibly try to make this team a potential Rodgers-Denver stack and go, hey, if Rodgers traded to Denver, we are winning this league. I mean, if you go and you draft Noah Fant, Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton, all at values, and then you have that one trade happen, and then every single player on your dynasty team just increases in value, I mean, maybe that's a way that you can access some pretty cheap upside. Okay. But now, of course, super teams only coming after Tua. Now, if we look across and we go, okay, what are some other quarterbacks in this range going for? I mean, you had Justin Fields for 21. You had Jalen Hurts for 21 at the same time. So, I mean, if we could get in under that price point for Tua Tagovailoa, that would be something that we would be excited for. We will throw $15 on Tua. Andrew saying, good pick with Fant there. Thank you, my dude. I really appreciate it. Oh, there we get Tua for $15. That is my favorite price of the entire draft, to be honest. I mean, yes, I am very excited about that. Okay, so now we have our quarterback 2, and we have some more potential with stacks. We can go get Jalen Waddle. We can go get Devontae Parker and Will Fuller for extremely cheap. We can get, I don't even want to target Mike Gesicki, to be honest, with what that coaching staff has showed us their thoughts are with Mike Gesicki. But Travis Etienne, God, y'all know I want him as my running back too. Okay, so let's let this go down a little bit. Let's just let it tick down, and then we can try to come in over the top. I'd be willing to, I don't want to say unload the bag on Travis Etienne, but y'all know he's my guy. So let's go. Let's throw $21 on Etienne. Okay, it looks like M4G has this same plan, trying to stack Etienne and Najee Harris. Man, I promise you, I'm probably higher on Etienne than you are. So just leave this conversation. Just leave the draft room. You can close out the app real quick. Yeah, I mean, we're probably higher. We are higher on Travis Etienne than you are. Just please leave the draft. Leave the draft room. Do not bother us. Let us get Travis Etienne for $26. Okay, now the question is, are we this high on Travis Etienne? That is the real question. First round drafted running back. Checked every single box. We'll go $28 on Travis Etienne. I know a lot of people are going to view this as an overpay, but to get our second running back, we have the cap space to do it. Okay, now $30 on Travis Etienne. Oh, okay. So Deandre Swift, we're gonna let him have it. We're gonna let him have it. I know I talked a lot of crap, but we just got both Tua and Noah Fant. It's not like we're in a spot to be just blowing a ton more money. And it looks like, I think maybe we are, actually no, we are second currently in the league with cap space left. So we are second left with cap space. If you go through and if you're looking, I mean, you got a bunch of wide receivers left. Outside of that, there's really nothing else you can get too excited about. I mean, there are some QBs, but QBs have been great values in this entire draft. Okay, so Stefan Diggs is up here. We'll throw 15 automatically on Diggs. Okay, what were other wide receivers going for? I mean, you have Chase going for 25. I mean, we would obviously rather prefer Stefan Diggs over Jamar Chase in Dynasty even. Okay, pristine auction coming in, trying to get Stefan Diggs. Now, you had Hopkins going for 27. You had Ridley for 28. Yeah, F it. Let's go 21 on Stefan Diggs. I mean, we don't have a wide receiver yet. We're building a very balanced team. Okay, there. Stefan Diggs, $21. I mean, if you're looking across the board, I think we are very happy with this price point. You had guys like Devontae Adams for 28, Justin Jefferson for 31, Calvin Ridley for 28, and we have just been, I mean, we're on a spending spree. I will say that. Now let's throw Dallas Goddard up here to be nominated. Throw $5 automatically on Dallas Goddard. I mean, there are a lot of teams that do not have a tight end yet. So let's see if we can just pull off Goddard for 5, and then we really don't have to worry about the tight end position the rest of the time. But no, Chinder comes out. He decides to throw $6 on Dallas Goddard. I mean, if we were willing to spend 15 on Fant, what's the real difference between Goddard and Fant? No, we'll throw an extra dollar. Okay, so, okay, that was a bad mistake. I will admit that. Dallas Goddard for $7 is not something you want to do. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not that bad. We have money to spend. Come on. We're big ballers here. We're big ballers. We're going to be fine with that. Okay, so right now we are still having more money than most other people in this draft. I mean, we're probably like top 5 in money. And we have Rodgers, Akers, Diggs, Fant, Goddard, and Tua. So it's a very weird team. It's a team that, I mean, is not going to look anything like my other Dynasty rosters. Okay, but now they're just trolling me, putting Juju Smith-Schuster on the board, really, really testing how much I'm going to be willing to go out on the limb for my guys. Yeah, we'll spend an extra dollar on Juju. Okay, so Tankapotamus coming in. It looks like he likes Juju as well. The thing is, I think we've just spent. I want to slow down. I want to slow down. If we had done our work previously and we have checked out exactly what we can spend on these players, then yeah, I would have gone a little harder for my guy in Juju Smith-Schuster. But given the fact that we've spent a lot of money as of late, I think we kind of want to relax for now and make sure that we're not breaking the bank. Okay, but Zack Wilson up here, pristine icon going after him. Although he already has Watson, he has Justin Fields, he has Trevor Lawrence. So who else has bid on him? Is that it? Just pristine icon? The thing is, he's a great value here. I mean, just the quarterback value in this league is so wacky. Yeah. I think we'll throw an extra $1 on Zack Wilson. Okay, we're probably going to win him here. But Zack Wilson, I mean, he is someone with a very high floor. Okay, so there we have our 3 quarterbacks. Now, this is such a weird team that I built. I can't say I like this team. I mean, it is very weird. Okay. Okay, so it looks like a lot of people are saying they don't mind our Goddard selection for $7, but I'm saying, guys, I think later on in these drafts, you're going to have great values across the board. Okay, so we'll spend $12 on our man Amari. I mean, we got the Amari Cooper jersey behind us. I really like that overall Dallas Cowboys offense this year. Getting our guy. Oh my. Okay, no, I thought we just got Amari Cooper 12. Do we spend 14 on Amari? This is just the thing. I think that we have to take a break. I think I have to just get my finger off the button and just make sure we're not losing our minds here. JN says he likes Tankopotamus' team. So Tankopotamus has Burrow, Barkley, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Juju, and Justin Jefferson. Yeah, I mean, that is a very strong squad. I will admit, I mean, that Joe Burrow value is absolutely insane. JN says best landing spot for Watson Mason. Man, to be completely honest, I think that he is staying in Houston. I think that the chance that Deshaun Watson is traded at this point is very, very, very slim. I think best case scenario for Deshaun Watson, he starts in Houston. And I mean, this coming from someone who's willing to invest. Oh, thank God. We almost accidentally bid $18 on Terry McLaurin, and I can't pay that price at this point. Okay, so let me just pull up and see how many players are left to make sure that we're not saving our money for nobody. Okay, yeah, okay. Noted. Okay, so 64 max, 61 max, $100 max, 46 max, 23, 20, 40, 49. Okay, so looks like Chinder can come through and he can kind of dictate how the draft is going to go the rest of the time. Looks like he pretty much is the man that's going to tell us what is happening, and we just have to say yes, sir, and live with it. I mean, he has $100. I mean, he has almost doubled the following team's top budget. Now, DJ Moore here. DJ Moore, not necessarily a winner from the NFL draft, but I mean, you have to look at the age-adjusted production, and you have to understand that he is on a great path so far in his NFL career. We'll throw $12 on DJ Moore. I mean, do we? Yeah, we have one wide receiver in Stefan Diggs, but $12 on DJ Moore, something I'll get very excited about. Okay, so no, Jay Alexander comes in over the top with 13. Then you have Pristine Icon coming in with 14. I think at that point, yeah, we'll just say congrats. You can have him. I don't know if we can afford that going forward. Okay, so DJ Moore does go off the board for $15. Now, I promise you I would have been a lot more aggressive with that if you did not have Terrace Marshall going over to Carolina. And I know that Terrace Marshall is most likely there to replace Robbie Anderson after Robbie Anderson's last year on his contract this season. But still, nonetheless, I mean, it is going to take away targets from DJ Moore. Now, with Keenan Allen, how old is Keenan Allen? Can we pull up his player card? 29. So 29 at this point. What we should have done, to be completely honest, is we should have gone harder after Amari Cooper. Taking a step back, that $13 for Amari Cooper was way too little. We should have been willing to press the button on that one more time. That was a great value on Amari. We should have gone harder after him. Okay, so Joe Mixon up on the board. Joe Mixon, one of the last few running backs left that you can get excited about. I actually tweeted about Joe Mixon a couple days ago saying, hey, he's in line for an Ezekiel Elliott type workload this year. I mean, you have to question the long-term value on Joe Mixon as that contract really isn't guaranteed beyond 2021. But I mean, if you're talking about production right now, Joe Mixon looks like a workhorse running back. Now, if we were comparing him to other guys, I mean, you have like Ezekiel Elliott at 27. You have Aaron Jones at 24. Of course, we'll throw $19 on Joe Mixon to get him as our second running back. We'd be very happy about that. But the problem is, I mean, this team has no identity right now. We are stuck in the middle of being a rebuilding team and a contending team. Okay, so do we go? We'll go an extra $1 on Joe Mixon. We got to pay up eventually. I mean, there are not that many players left. We don't have really any holes on this roster. And 4G coming in. Okay, who bid us before? Okay, Cranful bid us before. We're going for it. Joe Mixon, $23. Let's go. I know that this is probably not something that a lot of people like, but I'm getting scared. I'm getting scared that we are not going to have much money left. I mean, we're not going to have many players to bid on after that. Okay, so it looks like we have the core of our team established. Rodgers, Tua, Zack Wilson as our quarterbacks. Akers, Mixon as our running backs, Noah Fant, Dallas Goddard as our tight ends in a tight end premium format, and Stefan Diggs as our only wide receiver on the team. Now, this puts us in a difficult spot where we can't really go and be aggressive with the other players that are available now. And Chinder is really going to be able to just dominate the draft here on out unless Jay Alexander pushes back. So, But Dear Future Self nominates Mike Gesicki, and at this point, I really can't be caught price enforcing, so unless I really want the player, I'm probably going to have to be sitting out on him. Okay, guys, I know a lot of people are going to be bumping up that the Mixon pick is great. I see a lot of people in the chat saying that they like it and that Mixon is still very young. I understand how young Mixon is, guys, and trust me, Joe Mixon is a player that I have liked a lot over the past few years. Just the problem is not necessarily his age. It's more so what you were looking at with Joe Mixon in his guaranteed money over the past few years. I'm sorry, over the next few years, which he doesn't have a lot of. I mean, pretty much he looks like he can be a cut candidate for the Cincinnati Bengals after 2021. So because of that, I don't love the Joe Mixon value, but I'm fine with it. I mean, I would have probably rather had just say, save the $7 that I spent on Dallas Goddard and take the $23 that I spent on Mixon and get up in that range of a Travis Etienne. That's something I would have definitely preferred. But of course, hindsight is 2020. I mean, it's not a bad price for Mixon, but it's not something we are too excited about. Okay, let's just sneak up and bump up Austin Eckler real quick, just to make sure that, I mean, you don't have those teams with a ton of money left getting him for completely free. Now, what I'm interested in is how is Dear Future Self going to field the team with no quarterbacks? I mean, is he going to get like Ryan Fitzpatrick for close to nothing at the end of the draft? I mean, you kind of need quarterbacks at some point. I mean, you also have super teams only not having any quarterbacks, and neither team really has any money left. Now, you do have Austin Eckler going for more than Joe Mixon, so that definitely makes me feel a lot better. I am a lot happier now that we see Eckler go for 25 when we got Mixon for 23. So it looks like that was a decent price, but still at the same time, I mean, I'm not jumping up and down for that. Okay, Brandon coming out says, LOL, he is not getting cut. Man, I know that it's hard to say that for sure. I mean, it's hard to say that a player is going to get cut for sure, but it's something you have to understand. I mean, it's something that you have to keep in mind. I mean, we play this through a range of outcomes lens. You have to go, what's the best case scenario for this player? What's the worst case scenario? Worst case scenario for Joe Mixon is he's cut next offseason. And I know that sounds horrible, but what happens if Joe Mixon has another year plagued with injuries and then he has no guaranteed money left on his contract? Are they still going to be willing to pay him as one of the top running backs in the NFL? At that point, I don't know the answer. So we have to point that out. I mean, it's not something you can completely overlook. Matthew's saying Eckler is worth way more than Mixon. Man, I agree to disagree there. I mean, Joe Mixon is someone that projects to see so many touches in 2021. Now, what was the last player that just went off the board? What just happened? Let's pull up the results. Pristine Icon got Odell Beckham Jr. for $7. Maybe we should have been a little bit more active with that. I am just wanting to make sure that we have the opportunity to price enforce Chinder if we need to, because he still has $130 left in his budget, and with pretty much nobody else having money left, I mean, he can straight up bully us if he wants to. So I'm kind of just saving some money to make sure that we can't be bullied down the way. Now, Michael Thomas, of course, if he goes anything less than like $12, we are going to be all in on Michael Thomas, but let's just kind of sit back and see what happens, and then we'll jump in at the last second. Okay, so yeah, of course well, if Michael Thomas is going in the single digits, we'll come and get in on this Michael Thomas action. I mean, y'all know I love Juju Smith-Schuster, but there's no reason that Michael Thomas should be in the same range as Juju. Okay, so yeah, I mean, about the same range as Keenan Allen. Who else went here? Okay, Chinder coming in the last second. We can't let Chinder get Michael Thomas for $13. We'll go 14. We were upset that we didn't get Amari for 13. So we are upset about Amari going for 13. I mean, we should be willing to spend 14 on Michael Thomas. Okay, there we go. But we are in a tough spot now. We only have $36 left. We have a max bid of $11. We don't even have our entire starting lineup filled out. But we do have some exciting players. I mean, we got Akers, Mixon, Diggs, Michael Thomas, Noah Fant, Dallas Goddard, Tua, Zack Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers. But it sucks that we are pretty much just going to be an observer from now on. Let's go nominate a tight end. Let's go throw up Hunter Henry. Just because we already have 2 tight ends. We need some people spending some money on these guys. Let me know what y'all think of us spending $14 on Michael Thomas. But, I mean, I like the value. The thing is, it just puts us in such a difficult spot going forward. Okay, guys, another thing I want to point out when we're talking about Joe Mixon is the fact that Giovanni Bernard being gone means something. That's not something you can completely overlook. Giovanni Bernard is equivalent to like Jamal Williams leaving Green Bay for Aaron Jones. The only difference is instead of like Green Bay has A.J. Dillon waiting in the wings to jump up to be seeing a significant amount of snaps, you simply don't have that going on in the case of Cincinnati. So yeah, Joe Mixon's going to see an Ezekiel Elliott type workload. Okay, now here Miles Sanders is up, and I will say that, I mean, if Miles Sanders goes for less than Joe Mixon, that is going to be sad. That is probably going to hurt my feelings. No way. No way. Okay, let me point out what just happened. Miles Sanders went for $18, which was a fantastic, fantastic value. I mean, he went for significantly less than Mixon, Eckler, Aaron Jones. I mean, that was a great value on Miles Sanders. I will say that. But now, Super Teams Only is in a spot where he has a max bid of $3, and he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots left to fill in his starting lineup, and he does not have a single quarterback yet. Super Teams Only is dead. I'm just going to say that roster is dead in the water. That looks like it is now a rebuilding roster, as crazy as that sounds, because how are you going to field a team that is competitive for 2021 with that scenario? I mean, you just simply don't have that capability. So yeah, of course, we may be blowing our load here on the last, we may be blowing our last $11 on our 4th quarterback here in Matthew Stafford, because there's no way in hell we're letting Matthew Stafford go for less than $11. That's not happening. Okay, so now we can't bid on him just because he's over our max bid, but still, I mean, if y'all are letting Matthew Stafford, what is Chinder waiting to spend his money on? He just let Matthew Stafford go off for $12? Oh my God, boys. Okay, so Javonte here. We're going to automatically bump up Javonte to $11. Now, if we get stuck with him, we get stuck with him. But I doubt that's going to happen. Now, guys, let me know if you think that Super Teams Only is going to be able to save this roster, because I don't see how we can. Like I think this team automatically... Oh, hopefully we can zoom out. Oh, God. Come on, Mason. Stick with me, guys. This happens all the time on my computer. Okay, there. Perfect. we saved ourselves. Okay, but Javonte going for 18. Who just got Javonte for 18? It's Javonte for $17. What is Chinder doing at this point? Chinder, my man, are you just planning on having everybody else only have $1 left and you pick up a bunch of guys for $2? Javonte for $17. Oh my gosh, I am so mad that we spent $23 on Mixon with Javonte for $17. Okay, guys, also, we just passed 100 likes on the live stream. That is absolutely massive. Thank you so much, my dudes. I truly, truly appreciate that. And yeah, nobody else is coming out here live streaming a real life Dynasty startup draft every single week. If you have not subscribed and hit that notification bell next to the subscribe button, what are you doing yet? Fix your life. Nobody is grinding like this. But Robert Tonyan looks like he is going to be going off the board for $2, probably. I mean, he almost went off the board for $1 there. Chinder, are you in this auction? When's the last time Chinder's? I mean, he did nominate someone like 3 turns ago. So he's here. I just don't know what is he saving his money for at this point. I mean, Jay Alexander is our only hope. Jay Alexander, I mean, and Mick Cranfield and M4G. Okay, there are some teams with money left to at least fight against Chinder. I mean, Chinder I'm kind of viewing as like Darth Vader at this point. I mean, he's the Empire. We got to fight against him. I mean, he has so much money left. He has a lot of roster spots to fill, but still. Okay, so now Kareem Hunt for 6. I can't spend $6 on Kareem Hunt. We are just put in such a difficult spot here. Okay, M4G coming in. Okay. At least we were seeing Kareem Hunt bid up a little bit. I think we made a mistake. I think we should not have spent. We definitely shouldn't have spent $7 on Dallas Goddard. I told you all right away I hated that price. That was a massive mistake by us. Spending $7 on Dallas Goddard was our worst pick of this entire draft. What was also really bad is $21 and $23 on the combination of Stefan Diggs and Joe Mixon. I'm fine with our quarterbacks. I'm fine getting Michael Thomas for 14. I'm fine Cam Akers for 34. I mean, you need that stud 3-down running back. But at the end of the day, I mean, God dang, we just botched this. Please, guys, let me know what team you think is going to look the best at the end of this startup draft. I mean, if I had to put my money on something, I would probably say Chinder, just because he has so much money left, and there are players left. I mean, he's about to get Brandon Ayuk for $10. I mean, he played us like a fiddle. This man absolutely came through and stomped on us. Gosh, bravo. M4G getting Brandon Ayuk for 11. So with the players going off the board right now are good values. But what I think is going on here is I think Chinder is just making sure that these guys that can bid him up, they're spending their money. So he's letting them have good values. Like he's letting them have a Brandon Ayuk for $11. And he's going, oh, bravo, buddy. Good job. Take that value. Have no money at the end. And then I'm just going to dominate. I'm going to just handpick every player that I want going forward. So, Chinder, good job. Good job, my man. Okay, Darian says, aside from QBs, Super Teams only has the best team clearly. No, man. Super Teams, I think that, this is the last team I would want to be currently. I mean, having a max bid of $3 left and having not a single QB on a Superflex roster. I mean, this is a team that's going to have to be working some trades after this. Hey, Super Teams only, man, I promise you, if you need Aaron Rodgers to stack with Devontae Adams, I got you. We can work out a trade. I like Miles Sanders. I like A.J. Brown. I like Jamar Chase. We can figure something out after the startup auction. Christian says Cranfield has had a phenomenal draft. Okay, let's check out Cranfield. Okay, so McLaurin for 18. I like it. Honestly, no, I don't love Cranfield. I don't think it's actively bad. I think it's kind of average, to be honest, though. I mean, I don't see what stands him out from a guy like M4G. I would much prefer having M4G's draft. I think this is one of my favorite drafts so far. I think Chinder's, it's hard to see how it's going to play out just because he really has so much money left and he doesn't have any players. So it's hard to see how this is going to play out. But my favorite team so far is M4G. Everybody like hyping up Tom Brady for $7, guys. I would prefer having Matthew Stafford for 12. I mean, easily prefer Matthew Stafford for 12 over Tom Brady for 7 in a dynasty format. God, we did it again. I told ourselves the entire draft, I was like, we are not going to spend on players early. We are going to save our budget. We are going to make sure we get value at the end. And yet, instead, what did we do? Instead, we blew our load on Joe Mixon. Yeah, Joshua coming in says, Chinder will have the best value draft by far and away. Jay Alexander, come on. Do I spend $10 on Godwin? No, that's something I wanted to do on the last mock auction. I literally put a max bid in on Baker Mayfield because I thought that there was no way he was going to go for that price just because I was trigger happy. We ended up getting stuck with Baker as like quarterback 4, and then we had an entire roster to fill out with dollar players. So yeah, no, we're not going to be able to do that. We're just going to have to pray that people fight back on Chinder bidding up Chris Godwin. I mean, Godwin at 14s, it's not like it's ridiculous, but still, it's very good. Okay, so let's go through and so Andrew says he votes that Mark Vito as the best team. Here, I mean, it's going to depend. I mean, he has no money to fill out this. He doesn't have a tight end. He doesn't have any depth. I really hate the Calvin Ridley value. I think what ruined this team probably was the Calvin Ridley value. Calvin Ridley for 28 when you had players like Brandon Ayuk going for 11, just kind of going to kill you. Now, Cooper Kupp here, like I said, guys, we have an $11 max bid. We are just going to have to sit here on our hands. We can't do anything at this point. Matthew says you might not want to keep saying you're going to blow your load. No, man. It's the perfect way to phrase it. I understand. I understand the connotation behind it. I understand what it may sound like I'm saying, but just understand. I'm not saying that, guys. I'm not saying it. Okay, so super teams only. Let's see where he decides to nominate. I mean, man, super teams only. If you were in the chat right now, please let me know what you were thinking. Let me know what you were going to be offering me for Aaron Rodgers. We can work something out that helps both of us. I mean, like I said, Chase for Rodgers. I mean, that looks like an easy swap. You get the Devontae Adams stack. Not too bad. Now, Devonta Smith coming up here. Now, Smith, would we be willing to go $5 on him? Can we afford that? That's the question. The thing is, I just simply don't think we can't afford to put $8 on a wide receiver at this point. We can't. We need to make sure that we at least can spread out like $2 here and there on like a wide receiver, a flex, and then at least some quality bench guys. So these guys going for like $10 like Devonta Smith, while they're great values. I mean, Chinder, congrats, man. I mean, getting Devonta Smith for $8, yeah, obviously that is fantastic. At the end of the day, I mean, we just simply can't fight you. Harrison Rich says also who disliked the stream. Man, someone disliked the stream. I'm assuming another fantasy football YouTuber. That's the only rational assumption that you can have, to be honest. Tim Harrison says, have you ever done an auction where your leftover money is your fab budget? No, I have not. I've done a lot of auctions before. I will say the last auction I did that was not a mock draft was 2017. But before that, I was never doing live auctions because it's a lot harder to set up a league that's actually going off live than a slow draft. So what we used to do is slow draft auctions, where it's a completely different setup. It's like a proxy bid. It's kind of like eBay. But now that we have this audience, we can actually go through and we can get something exciting like this going. So yeah, I mean, this is only possible with all the support that y'all show on Patreon. How many people are joining the Patreon flock over there? And I, of course, really appreciate that. I mean, it is literally allowing me to do so many different things, including doing cool things like a live auction, which I don't think a live real money Dynasty startup auction has probably ever been done on YouTube. Let me know if I am wrong about that. But I mean, I don't want to say this is groundbreaking stuff here, but have y'all ever seen this before? Please let me know. Okay, so let's go through and see if we have Brandon says, is Darnell Mooney set for a good year? No, I mean, I think I may have to get a tattoo, like a face tattoo, like I'm a SoundCloud rapper or something that says Darnell Mooney is a bum. Do not think Darnell Mooney is going to make an impact on your fantasy team. Darnell Mooney put up a decent rookie season at 23 years old. He was a compensatory 5th round pick. He is in the same, like he has the same frame pretty much as Devonta Smith, but he has none of that collegiate production. Okay, so of course we're going to have to throw $7 on Ryan Tannehill. I mean, I can't, it looks like we're probably going to be spending our last money on Ryan Tannehill. If we can trade him to super teams only, great, so be it. But yeah, no, it looks like we're probably going to be spending our last few dollars on Ryan Tannehill. I cannot let him go off the board for $8. I know it's probably a bad decision for my own team. Okay, but now we don't even have the option. Now we can't bid. He's past our max bid. Christian, yes, I understand, man. Christian and I were talking about Chicago on Patreon earlier today, and he's trying to convince me that Darnell Mooney is good, but I cannot stand for that. Oh my God. Chinder just got Ryan Tannehill for $12. Jay Alexander, what are you doing here? You're going to let him get Ryan Tannehill for $12? Who else has money at this point? Really nobody. Oh my God. Chinder he's stomping on us. Yeah, it's Matthew says, if Chinder gets Tanny, it's game over. It is game over, guys. I did what I could. I had an $11 max bid. I put all $11 in the pot. Just Chinder came in over the top for 12. Beach Ball says, next time, maybe you put a minute or two delay on the live stream so people don't know your strategy. I think there's actually like a 30-second delay or something like that. It's not intentional. I just think it's the streaming software I use. But yeah, nonetheless, I mean, I literally make a Dynasty Fantasy Football video every day. All these people are people supporting the show on Patreon, so 99% of them, I am talking to them nearly every single day through chat. I mean, everybody knows my exact thoughts with these players. I mean, so many people know what I'm trying to do here that a delay is not going to help too much. I mean, they already know my strategy. Okay, Ron Chapman says, I had to log in so I could comment. I've been watching it on TV. It looks like a lot of fun. I've never done an auction draft. Man, thank you so much, Rob, for coming out here. Thank you so much for watching it. And yeah, I will say it is fun. It is so stressful, though. I mean, maybe other people like Chinder aren't that stressed because they clearly knew what they were doing. But for a pure mortal like me, no, I am very stressed. Okay, I just realized M4G did a very smart thing here. This is something that I'm going to have to do going forward. So clearly he wanted Tyler Higbee, and then say he wanted to pay $2 on Tyler Higbee, knowing that most people weren't going to pay $3. So instead of nominating Higbee for $1, having someone bid $2, and then he has to bid $3 on top of that, he just automatically put in the bid for $2. That is very smart. I thank God we were paying attention. I mean, because like I said, I mean, if he put in Tyler Higbee for $1, I would have bid him up to $2. I don't think we could afford to go to $3 right now. But if you automatically put him at $2, that's a very smart strategy. I think I'm going to steal that going forward. MT says Chinder is firing hot loads into this draft. Yeah, man. I mean, he's blowing his loads all over these guys that are left. Chris says Darnell Mooney had great college stats. Actually, let me check this out. I mean, Darnell Mooney did not have a good prospect profile. I can guarantee you that. Okay, so let's pull up Darnell Mooney. Okay, so we just have Chris Carson looking like he's going to be in the single digits. Like I said, I can't do anything to stop it. I mean, we're just helpless here. They can battle it up for Chris Carson. I just have to sit here and watch. I can't do anything. Okay, guys, so if you're looking at Darnell Mooney, I mean, yes, I'm mistaken here. I will admit Darnell Mooney did have decent collegiate production, but it was at Tulane. It was at Tulane. He's 5'10". He's 176 pounds. He was drafted the 28th pick in the 5th round. He's 23 and a half years old. I mean, Darnell Mooney's not going to be anything. I mean, how about this? If Darnell Mooney is a top 24 wide receiver in 2021, I will come on the live stream. Let me know what y'all want me to do. I'll do pretty much outside of anything, shaving my head. Let me know what y'all would want to see me do as a punishment if Darnell Mooney's a top 24 wide receiver, because it's not happening. I already said if Michael Carter Jr. is a top 12 running back, I'll come on a live stream and I'll eat my shoe. Maybe we can say the same thing with Darnell Mooney, because it's not happening, guys. Darnell Mooney is not a good wide receiver for fantasy. I mean, he can be decent for the Bears for stretching the field, but beyond that, I don't think you can get too excited. Now, Baker Mayfield for 13. Great price point for Jay Alexander. Now, how many players are left? Okay, you have Allen Robinson. Oh, my God. You have so many quality players left. Chinder, you mother effer. He has Allen Robinson, T. Higgins, Mike Evans, Deontay, Robert Woods, Jerry Jeudy, Claypool, Julio. Oh, my God, Chinder. I hate that his name on Sleeper is Chinder as well, because I hate saying it. I mean, I feel dirty just saying the word Chinder. Garrett says, take a shot out of a shoe. I promise you guys, if Darnell Mooney is a top 24 wide receiver, I will get my shoe and I will take a shot out of it. I'll take a pull out of it. I'll pour a ton in the shoe. I'll drink an entire beer out of my shoe. How about that? If Darnell Mooney is a top 24 wide receiver, I will drink an entire beer out of my shoe. I will go over and tweet that right now so y'all can hold me accountable to it. Actually, we'll tweet that later today. Yeah, I think we just sent out a tweet. Yeah, we are going to do that. We're going to do that, Garrett. I think that's a really good idea. Okay, so Jonnu up here. Yeah, it looks like Jonnu's probably going to be going for $2. We just have to kind of sit here and let it happen. Timothy says, if Mooney is good, you have to get a signed Darnell Mooney jersey behind you. Okay, how about this? If Darnell Mooney is a top 24 wide receiver, I'll drink a beer out of my shoe. If Darnell Mooney is a top 12 wide receiver, I will pay however much money it is to get an autographed Darnell Mooney jersey, and it will replace, it will replace the Sammy Watkins jersey, one of my favorite wide receiver prospects of all time. We'll get a signed Darnell Mooney jersey, and we'll put it up on the studio. Jake says Judy and Sutton would be great. I think Sutton's already gone. Yeah, Sutton's already gone off the board for $7. We don't have a shot at Sutton. Okay, so here, like with these quarterbacks, I think we are probably going to be putting in bids, just given the fact that, I mean, if we get one of them, we can sell them over to super teams only. Actually, I don't know if we can. We just don't have any money left. Oh, Chinder. Chinder. I'm doing this. It's probably bad for my team. It's probably bad for the team, but I just have to give Chinder a big middle finger here. Tell him he's not getting Kirk Cousins. So we get Kirk Cousins for $9. Of course, it's going to be a player on the block. We're probably going to be selling him to a team that wanted a second quarterback that didn't necessarily have the money to get one. Maybe a dear future self, a super teams only. I mean, we're going to be selling at least one of these quarterbacks, probably two of these quarterbacks, but I didn't want Chinder getting him. That was just out of spite, to be completely honest. Christian says, better hope Allen Robinson doesn't get hurt. Man, if Allen Robinson gets hurt, I promise you, there's still no upside at all for Darnell Mooney to be a top 12 wide receiver. It simply cannot happen. It will not happen. I promise you that. So it looks like Harperville is coming in and getting Damian Harris. Gosh, this is going to be a... Oh, my God. This is tough. This is real tough. Timothy says, wow, Mike Davis, Falcons running backs, is going to go for $1. Did he go for $1? Did he just get nominated and go for $1? I don't think so. He didn't. Okay, perfect. JN says, I think you beat yourself up about Trevor Lawrence too much and then overspent. It's so easy to spend the middle rounds. You got to sit on your hands once you get your quarterback. Yeah, man. I mean, we made a mistake here. We have a $3 max bid right now. Let's put it in on Allen Robinson and hope Sleeper glitches out and nobody can bid after us. Of course, that's not the case. God, we messed up our team here, guys. I knew this was going to happen. Pretty much what we're probably going to have to do is we're probably going to have to... And what is horrible about this team as well is we kind of forced our hand into being a contending team. We can't pull the ripcord and just say that we are going to go productive struggle. Because, I mean, Allen Robinson... Okay, thank God. I thought Allen Robinson was about to go for $8. Pristine Icon, thank you for at least... M4G, thank you for sticking it up. Thank you for sticking Chinder the middle finger, telling him he can't get him for $10 or whatever it was. Now he's going to get him for $11. Oh, no. Jay Alexander coming in. Thank you, man. I mean, make Chinder pay for it. And make him not get this guy. Okay, but what we're probably going to have to do here is we're probably going to have to... We're going to be working trades. I will say that. We're going to be working trades. Now, if we're going to go try to get a... Well, we can try to... No, that's going to be a guy that's... Let's throw Jalen Waddle up for $3. Try to get that to a stack. Be surprised if we actually get Jalen Waddle, of course. Most likely we're not going to get Jalen Waddle, but can't hurt to try. Okay, so nope. Not getting Waddle. Now, this is going to just be an ugly stream from here on out, guys. Y'all are probably just going to see me kind of sink down in my chair, maybe shed a few tears, maybe just reflect back on how bad I am at auctions, how I did not prepare going into this, and how I have really no reason to be here. But we have to look inside the mirror. We have to go, you can't blame anybody but yourself. You did this to yourself, coming away with 4 mediocre quarterbacks, coming away with, 2 3-down running backs, but still no depth behind that. 2 veteran wide receivers that we can't even say we're going to use in a rebuild, and 2 tight ends. That's what we got on this entire startup draft with $200. Oh, God. That is disappointing. JN is saying Tannehill is going cheap in these auctions. I think he is one of the most overlooked quarterbacks, if not the most overlooked. Yeah, man. I mean, the reason Tannehill is going so cheap here is simply just because, everybody else spent up on the quarterbacks before Tannehill went off. Nobody had money by the time Tannehill went off, and that's happened in every single mock draft. Yeah, it's not necessarily because I think Ryan Tannehill is getting disrespected in particular. I think it's more so due to the fact that, Ryan Tannehill himself is just a player with not much. He's getting in a range where he doesn't really have anybody else to compete with. I'm sorry, I probably worded that poorly. But I'm just saying, like, he's getting nominated when nobody has money. So, of course, he's going to be going really cheap. Brandon saying you can still get Jalen Darden. Yes, Jalen Darden would be someone at the end of the draft we were looking for, I promise you. McFriggin Duncan says, got to get a chest tattoo of Darnell Mooney misspelled. Okay, guys, let me know what y'all think of this. Maybe this is just a really dumb idea, but I've said all along that I would never get a tattoo in my entire life. What if I set a goal on the main fantasy football channel had actually increased its subscriber count last football season by 10x from like 2.2 thousand to now it's at 22,000. So if we can hit 100,000 on that channel, would y'all be interested in me getting a tattoo? Kind of like Andy from The Office, just like that episode. Let me know if that's a goal that we should set, either 100,000 subscribers on the main fantasy football channel this football season, or 1,000 show supporters on Patreon. Let me know if that's something y'all would be interested in. Y'all could obviously pick the tattoo, and yeah, maybe that would be a fun vlog. I do not know. Okay, F. Chang says Jay Alexander has a really good team. Okay, so let's look at it. Hurts, Gibson, Eckler, Lamb, Sutton, Robinson, Andrews, Gaskin, Baker Mayfield. Yeah, no, he has a very good team. I would switch teams with him in a heartbeat. That is a great team. Okay, guys, stick it to Chinder. Do not let him get T. Higgins for $4 or whatever it is. Okay, Pristine Icon, of course, he's going to be coming in. He's going to be price enforcing. The problem is, oh, God. Tankopotamus has money left, too. Thank God. Thank God. Tankopotamus, come in here. Do something, man. Do something. JN says, flock tattoo on your ass cheek. Man, that's like what I'm thinking of. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, good. T. Higgins not going for $9 or whatever the hell it is. At least going to have to spend up on Higgins a little bit. Looks like Chinder is going to get him for $12. Now, it's a good value. It's not something that's going to be absurd, though, which is what you like to see. Aaron Law says, get a duck on your forehead. I would never get a face tattoo, man. Imagine me making videos with a face tattoo. I do not think that would go over too well. Okay, so M4G is up here. I think what we probably should start doing now is, while at least some teams have money left, to start nominating the best players available. Okay, we're going to throw $3 on Mike Davis, just because, if you get Mike Davis for $3, we'd be fine with that. I know it would be all our money, and I know we would just get dollar players from here on out, but I think that's something we'd be willing to do. Okay. But Mike Davis up to 5. Austin says, I want you to get a Willie Snead tattoo. That would be pretty funny. Christian says Higgins at $12 is a huge overpay, in my opinion. Man, no, I think Higgins at $12. What else is Chinder going to spend his money on at this point? He really is Mike Evans, and that is about it. There's no running backs left at all. Really, nobody you can get excited about outside of long shot running backs. Ooh, we got in a bid with Mike Evans, $2. Let's see if it holds. Of course, it does not. Jan says temporary Mooney forehead tattoo for a week if he's top 5. Man, I don't even know how you would get like what temporary tattoo shop am I going to go to? I guess maybe can you get like in a real tattoo shop a temporary tattoo, like a custom one? If that's the case, maybe. Okay, so Mike Evans up to $10 at this point. No, he's only at 9. God, I wish I had another bid to throw in. I mean, Mike Evans at $9 when we spent 14 on Michael Thomas. It's fantastic. Timothy says, do you really think that Gaskin is the man? If Miami was trying to get Kerryon Johnson, yeah, no, Gaskin's the man. I'd be more concerned about them bringing in Malcolm Brown and Malcolm Brown taking touches. But no, Gaskin's going to project to be their week 1 starting running back. Mr. Zip saying, just subbed as a flocker on Patreon. Teach me to fire warm soapy loads in my draft. I am from Australia. Yes, sir, man. I promise you, you are going to learn how to fire those loads on Joe Mixon, on Noah Fant, on Dallas Goddard, and then you are going to immediately regret firing those loads on those players right after. I can guarantee you that. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we could have thrown $3 on Deontay Johnson, but really, there's just no point. Mike is saying now the Higgins value doesn't look too amazing. Man, I mean, but what else is he going to be spending money on? I mean, I think $12 on T. Higgins is completely fine. Brandon saying, does this league have a tight end premium? Yes, this is 1.5 PPR for the tight end position. Aaron saying, hey, I reminded you of the Malcolm Brown signing. Yes, sir. And I still need to bring it up in a video somehow talking about Malcolm Brown because I think that was such a good call out. And that team went out of their way to sign Malcolm Brown this year. They brought in no other running backs. And I mean, are you really 100% confident in Myles Gaskin and Salvon Ahmed? Now, obviously, you can never be 100% confident with those running backs. So I think that was a great call on Malcolm Brown, and we need to be kind of pumping him up as a deep, deep stash. Garrett saying a post-bid clarity. Yeah, man, post-bid clarity after blowing the load on Joe Mixon, it was an automatic regret. I think it's safe to say that's some post-bid clarity. JN said, Michael Dixon, the Thunder from Down Under. Man, is he still playing for the Seahawks? Because he was the most exciting player that we have ever had at UT. I mean, whenever I was here, to be completely honest. I mean, it was fun when he was going on the field to punt. Matt Ryan for $7. Oh. Okay, let's go through Chinder's team. Keep in mind, Chinder still has significantly more money than everybody else in this draft. He has Lance, Tannehill, and Ryan as his quarterbacks. Now, he does have a very bad running back room in Jacobs and Montgomery, but still, players are going to get touches. Then he is crushing everybody else at wide receiver and in the flex with Amari, Godwin, Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, and Mike Evans. I mean, that is fantastic, my man. Okay, we're going to throw $3 on Chase Edmonds as if it matters because, of course, we are not going to be able to pull Chase Edmonds for $3. J-Buck says deep dive running backs would be a good video. Yeah, I think that maybe we will go through and make that sometime soon. JN says his bowl game versus Mizzou. Guys, if y'all don't know what we're talking about a former University of Texas punter that actually won MVP of a bowl game that we won. Think about that. He won MVP. He is a punter. It's not like he scored a touchdown or anything. He was just a man that you could be on your own 20-yard line, and then he could punt it 79 yards and pin the opposing team down at the 1. It was like it was like he had some like dark witchcraft, to be completely honest. I mean, one of the most talented human beings ever. Mr. 2Zip says the NFL will be 100% Aussie rule punters one day. What's Aussie rule punters? Is that like in college? Let me look this up. Oh, you're just saying they're all going to be coming from Australia. I mean, it makes sense. They're the ones that are getting the actual reps in, and also the NFL is where the money is. So that makes sense. Mr. 2Zip saying it's a 9:43 Saturday. So, man, That's just wild to think about, that it is 9:43 on a Saturday whenever. I know it's just weird to think about, but I'm saying, like, we're talking to each other at the same time and it's a completely different day for you. Christian says, Seahawks are my team. Loved it when we drafted him so early. Great player out of Australia. Man, he's out of Austin. Give the man some respect. He's out of Austin, Texas, not Australia. I mean, give Austin some props at the very least. Okay, so now Robert Woods, a wide receiver that I really, really like this year. I mean, I'm not joking. I think Robert Woods has the upside to be a top 5 wide receiver in fantasy. I mean, you have this situation just drastically increasing for Robert Woods. He's been a consistent high-end wide receiver 2, low-end wide receiver 1 with with Jared Goff under center. Now you have Matthew Stafford coming in, one of the biggest upgrade at quarterback that you could see in the entire NFL. I mean, I think Robert Woods could be a top 5 player. Jay Wall says, make sure to drop a like on the video. Yeah, I mean, I think that we maybe have more likes than we have live viewers at the moment. So thank you, Jay Wall, but I'm pretty sure everybody watching this video has already dropped a like. This is what I talk about all the time. I mean, there is no better audience in fantasy football than the flock. I mean, y'all just absolutely destroy every single video. I mean, if you look at our view to like ratio, you can't find another thing like it on YouTube, to be honest. And also with the amount of people supporting on Patreon per our subscriber, that's another thing you can't find. You can't find any other audience that is supporting a creator as much as y'all are when it comes to dropping likes, leaving comments, subscribing to the channel, supporting the show on Patreon. I mean, y'all just absolutely kill it. Now, Tony Pollard, I was going to say Tony Pollard going for $2 would have been disgusting. I didn't want to put in the bid for $3 just because literally we would have only been able to win players that we nominated from here on out. But Tony Pollard for $3 is great value. Now it's our turn to nominate who is someone that we would possibly want to get. But let's try to look in that same Tony Pollard vein. Ooh, how about this? Let's try to get Chuba Hubbard for $2. See if we can get Chuba Hubbard for $2. That would be very exciting. Brandon says Tutu Atwell is the guy to own. Man, Tutu Atwell weighs less than I do. I mean, I can't bet on a wide receiver like that. Okay, so it looks like we're not getting our guy in Chuba Hubbard. I thought that we would be able to sneak him by with a $2 bid, but it looks like it just isn't happening. Mike is saying it's completely opinion based, but I like Kupp. I mean, yeah, Cooper Kupp is still someone you can really like. He's still getting that same upgrade at quarterback that you're seeing with a guy like Robert Woods. So the analysis just holds true there. But Chinder coming in and spending $4 on Chuba Hubbard. I mean, compared to the $9 Mike Evans value, $4 on Chuba Hubbard isn't really anything that we need to cry about. Okay, Daniel Jones up here. We can't even put in a fake bid of $3 on Daniel Jones. Chris coming out says, I hate you, Chinder. Can we get like a something going in the chat that just says, like, I'm going to make, like, if we ever make merch, I'm going to do something saying like all the homies hate Chinder. Like just something on the back like that, because god dang. Okay, Mr. 2Zip says Cincinnati Bearcats. I'm assuming you mean Bengals. Punter Mason Fletcher reminds me, remember the name. He was supposed to be the next awesome AFL player, and he chose to pursue an NFL career. He's a freak, and his dad is an Australian legend. Mr. 2Zip, actually it's 2Lip. Man, please, how much? Let me know how much money do Australian players make? Is it comparable to the NFL? Are they just in a completely different league where it's not something that you should even be talking about? Like, does it make sense for all of these players that play in Australia to be pursuing the NFL? Like, are they getting paid competitive salaries compared to the NFL? I'd imagine not, but I'm completely ignorant when it comes to the topic, so I could be wrong. Rondell Moore for $4. I mean, hey, this is a good thing. Chinder spent $4 in Chuba Hubbard with Rondell Moore going for $4. There we go. Way to stick it to the man. Now, Michael Carter Jr. up here. Let's see what he goes for. Okay, Brandon is saying Bearcats is the college. Okay, I've never heard of the Cincinnati Bearcats. Aaron is saying, is Booker the backup in New York? Are you talking about Devonta Booker? I would assume that Tevin Coleman is someone that I would be a little bit more interested in compared to Devonta Booker. I mean, Devonta Booker looks a lot more like Michael Carter Jr. than Tevin Coleman does. Okay, Jerry Jeudy is up here. Now, we can't even put in a fake bid of Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy is someone that I would love to have on this roster, but of course we spent too much money. Like, what pisses me off right now is I thought I was getting such a great value on Kirk Cousins. I thought I was like saying like, hey, you can't steal this player for nothing. And then directly afterwards, you have Mike Evans going for $9, the same price. And obviously, I mean, imagine how much better our roster would be right now with Mike Evans instead of Kirk Cousins. I mean, it's not even something we can talk about. Chinder, did he just get, oh my God, did this just happen? Chinder just got Jerry Jeudy for $4. Dear future self, what are you, you're going to let Jerry Jeudy go off for $4? Oh my God. Okay, Chase Claypool. We'll throw a fake $3 on it. Obviously, we're not getting Claypool. I mean, maybe we do. Jerry Jeudy just went for $4. Chris saying Travis Kelsey played college football for the Bearcats. I knew Travis Kelsey played college football in Cincinnati. I didn't know the team was called the Bearcats, though. Switchblade Dragon says, you hate Michael Carter Jr., LOL. Yes, I do. I think probably the hate on Michael Carter Jr. maybe has gone a little bit overboard in that he is a player that should definitely project to have a role. He's a player that should definitely be someone you can start. The thing is, I just really don't like targeting players that have a cap ceiling, and I don't see any path for an undersized, unathletic running back to come in and be a running back one in fantasy. I mean, I'm probably undervaluing Michael Carter Jr. just based on the fact that he can eventually be a running back two in fantasy. I mean, if he hits his 90th percentile outcome, but the last thing you ever want to be doing is betting on those players that are going that late in the NFL draft and that really don't have too much to go with it. Okay, Mr. Tulip saying $700 USD elite AFL players make. Okay, so I'm assuming you're meaning $700,000. So yeah, they're not comparable at all to the NFL. But anyway, we just got Brandon Cooks for $2. I'm completely fine with Brandon Cooks for $2. I mean, maybe we're not. Maybe that was a really bad decision by us, but you live and you learn. You live and you learn. Brandon Blake is saying, do you prefer Tutu Atwell or Stefan Diggs this year? I'm assuming that you're talking about a league where you probably get just say tripled your points per game for playing on the Los Angeles Rams. And if that's the case where whatever points you score are automatically tripled for playing on the Rams, then I think it is very close between Stefan Diggs and Tutu Atwell. But for the spike week production, I think we'd go Atwell. JN says, these live auction drafts are far better than regular drafts. Man, I don't agree with you. I mean, in a regular draft, we can come in and we can just straight up crush. In this, we can't do anything. In this, we are just left helpless. Darian says, Michael Carter Jr. reminds me a lot of Devin Singletary, both undersized and not that athletic. Man, I think that's the best comparison you can hear. I mean, Michael Carter Jr. and Devin Singletary, both running backs that are undersized, unathletic, good pass catchers. I mean, they're the exact same players. The only difference is Michael Carter Jr. is in a much better situation. But yeah, I mean, we have seen this story before. Now, Derek Carr going off for $4. Yeah, so it looks like us spending $2 on Brandon Cooks was probably horrendous. Joshua is saying, brother, I have to say, I hate your team. Joshua, I have to say, I agree with you, man. I hate it just as much. Probably I hate it more. Jaden says, yeah, Mason fumbled the bag on this one. I did. I mean, if we go through, if we look at, just say, compare this to a Dynasty startup draft. I mean, we got Cam Akers, which is a late first-round Dynasty startup pick. And then beyond that, our next best player is, I don't even know, Joe Mixon, who's going in the third of Dynasty startups. Then you have Stefan Diggs going in the fourth, Michael Thomas going in the fifth. I guess you have Tua, Zack Wilson going in the fifth as well. So we really, yeah, we fumbled the bag on this one. I will 100% be the first guy to admit to that. I think we're probably, the thing is, we just don't even have the young players to turn this into a productive struggle team. I mean, we are just put in a horrendous situation. Aaron says, does anyone know if Breece Hall will be a junior this upcoming season? Yes, Breece Hall is going to be a junior this upcoming season. He should be available in the 2022 NFL draft. I can go through and I can try to confirm this for you. Let me double check. Yes, Breece Hall is going to be a junior this season. He's going to be available in the 2022 NFL draft. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so I want to point out to everybody that we are kind of getting to the point where there are only going to be $1 bids left, probably in about 30 minutes. So once we get to the point where everybody only has $1 to bid on players, then we are going to be switching it over where we are doing like a slow draft to finish it off. But we have some time until then. Joshua says, I'm getting Breece Hall next year in Dynasty. I don't care what I have to do. Man, you know who you really want. You want a running back coming out of the University of Texas in the 2023 NFL draft class. I promise you, he is going to be the best player in probably the next 3 drafts. I mean, if you are talking about just say the 2021, the 2022, the 2023 NFL draft class, the University of Texas currently has the best running back out of any of those classes. And y'all know that I am not biased really with those University of Texas players. Most of the time I'm saying probably to avoid them. But no, in this case, I mean, you kind of have to go all in. Rock Lee says, I haven't picked a player in ages. I think Rock Lee is super teams only. Yeah, man, join the club. I mean, we are definitely going to have to work out a trade or something. We are going to have to figure out something with our rosters. I think that there are so many things we could look to do here. I'm going to send you a message in the chat right now. Let's super teams only. Okay. Just since that it is our turn to nominate, let's throw up Rashad Penny here for, I think that what we should probably start doing is going and trying to get our players that we like for $1. And I think we can get Rashad Penny for $1. Yeah, I'll start getting our dollar players here. Okay, I don't know why this screen is kind of, okay, perfect there. Yeah, nobody's going to come over the top with $2 for Rashad Penny. Joshua saying, man, Elijah Moore is going to be incredible this year. Yeah, I mean, I am waiting mainly for Jamison Crowder to get cut, but I think that is probably going to happen just because you are going to be looking at them saving so much cap space. And they brought in Corey Davis, they brought in Elijah Moore, and they also had, Denzel Mims in last year's NFL draft. And Joshua also saying, who is the Texas running back? Bijan Robinson, my man. Look him up. An absurd player, to be honest. Henry is saying, I mean, I missed most of it. It says it started 2 hours ago. I just kicked off 4 rookie drafts tonight. Man, congrats on having 4 rookie drafts tonight. That is going to be a very fun night. Now, okay, Laviska Shenault just went for $3. I want to point out the fact that we spent $2 on Brandon Cooks when we could have had Laviska Shenault for $3. My God, Mason. My God. Yeah, JN in here pumping up Bijan Robinson. I mean, I promise you guys, this is not because I go to UT. I promise you that this is going to be a player that is just a complete difference maker at the next level. I mean, he is an Ezekiel Elliott type prospect. He is a Saquon Barkley type prospect. Bijan Robinson is unreal. Ooh, and speaking of Denzel Mims, maybe he can be our next dollar nomination. Because even Chinder doesn't really have much money left. How many people only have $1 left to bid on players? You have M4G, you have Mark, you also have Harperville. Okay, so yeah, we're getting to the point where a lot of teams are only going to have $1 for a max bid. Okay, so let's scroll down. Oh my gosh, guys, look at this. So this is demoralizing. Look at his wide receiver core. He has Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, Mike Evans, Jerry Jeudy, Julio Jones. That is demoralizing. It is very, very sad. Let's go through, and Switchblade saying, I'm not a fan of Laviska, seems injury prone and will never see a whole lot of targets. I was kind of fading those Jacksonville wide receivers going into the NFL draft because I was sitting here going, you know what? Most likely you're going to have the Jags going with the skill position. I thought that they were going to be more likely to go wide receiver than running back, but we did acknowledge the fact that that coaching staff had no allegiance to the current veterans in the locker room. So we were like, hey, DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault, James Robinson, they are guys we want to be selling before the NFL draft. Now, of course, the James Robinson call was correct, but no, the Laviska Shenault and DJ Chark calls were very wrong, to the point where I'm on the complete opposite side. I'm going, hey, now we can afford to go and pay for them. Now, if you wanted to sell them before the NFL draft, go try to pay for them back and offer an extra third-round pick and tell the guy, hey, man, I'm just giving you a free third. I kind of regret my decision. Okay, we got $2 on Michael Pittman. Hopefully nobody goes over the top on Pittman for us. I really hope we get Pittman here. Of course, we do not. F. Chang is saying Chandler has every relevant Alabama wide receiver. Yeah, he has Amari, he has Devonta Smith, he has Jalen Waddle. He also has Jerry Jeudy and Julio Jones. Yeah, so he's loading up on those Alabama boys. He also has Josh Jacobs. It looks like Chandler's just an Alabama fan. Switchblade is saying, how is that guy's team so stacked? Pretty much, he did not spend any money until the very end of the draft. Then he came in and laughed at all of us and completely dominated. That's as simple as, I mean, that's pretty much. Okay, come on. Okay, good. We got $2 in on A.J. Dillon. I'd be happy to get A.J. Dillon for $2. Especially if this looks like a team we may just have to blow up. If we're trying to turn this team into something that's maybe going to be something way down the road. $2 for A.J. Dillon is completely fine. What I hate is us spending $2 on Brandon Cooks. That was the really bad play. Okay, nope. It looks like we do not get A.J. Dillon. It is what it is. McCranfield does not like us getting players on the cheap, so we're just going to be sitting here. Switchblade coming out saying sleeper wide receiver is Colin Johnson. Hey, a quick side note. I actually had psychology with Colin Johnson my sophomore year, I believe. It was, no, it wasn't my sophomore year because I was, no, it was my first semester of my junior year, not the second semester of sophomore year. First semester of my junior year, I had psychology with Colin Johnson. Henry is saying, who is the one jerk that gave a thumbs down? I am just assuming that it is another fantasy football YouTuber. I think it's a safe assumption. Rock Lee says, still hate my A.J. Brown pick. Yeah, man, all those picks that were going off at the beginning of the draft look bad now. I mean, pretty much every single one. You can't look at, I mean, like even looking at Mahomes for 66. And I know this is something that is unfair to say just because you're looking at a team with hindsight. And my team, I don't want to act like it's good at all. I mean, I have one of the worst teams in the league. We botched this. But like just saying, would you rather have Mahomes for 66 or would you rather have the combination of Tannehill, Mike Evans, T. Higgins, Devonta Smith, Amari Cooper? Obviously, you'd rather have the package. I mean, all those players at the beginning were overpriced. Okay, so Jared Goff up here. Mr. Tulip is saying, I don't think I've seen you pick a Cleveland Brown before. In our last mock draft, I went out and got Baker Mayfield. Really, if there's any Cleveland Brown player that I'm going to go get, it's going to be Odell Beckham Jr. I don't like spending a significant amount of money. I'm sorry, spending a significant amount of draft capital on committee running backs in Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt. And also, I mean, Baker Mayfield's playing in a low passing volume offense. So really the good call there. I mean, you have guys like David Njoku. That's a player I like. Also, Odell Beckham Jr. But outside of that, not a massive team I like targeting. Christian saying he had Kim Lab with Justin Herbert, sat with him. He's a super chill dude. Have a pick of us. Christian, man, you have bigger balls than I do. If you ask Colin Johnson, being like, hey man, do you know who Mason Dodd is? He was in your psychology class junior year. He's going to go, no, the man never talked to me. He never approached me. So, man, that is awesome that you actually had Kim Lab with Justin Herbert. That is really cool. Okay, why is Chinder spending $4 on Raheem Mostert here when he was he let Chase Claypool go for $4? What is he doing spending $4 on Mostert? I don't understand that. I guess maybe because he got Sermon, and maybe he just really wants to guarantee that he has that running back production. Yeah, JN says, by the way, shout out to Mason for commissioning. I was going to do a league, but after 5 minutes of thinking and being a commish, my exact thoughts were F that. Yeah, no, man. Commish is it's definitely a very hard job, to be completely honest. That is maybe the hardest thing I have to do over on Patreon. Now on Patreon, I am always breaking down teams. Like literally, I think I probably broke down 12 teams today, which took 3 hours of my day just nonstop writing up people's dynasty formats and their league settings and their teams, what I think they should be doing with their rosters. But the hardest thing is commissioning these leagues. Because obviously playing in a dynasty league takes time. Playing in a dynasty team takes commitment. But to go through, commission the leagues, to make sure everybody gets their dues in, to make sure that everybody's set up and is available at the same time, it's a ton of work. Joshua was saying, dude, someone dropped Njoku in our 25-man dynasty league. Go get David Njoku. I mean, David Njoku has so much talent. In a parallel universe, David Njoku right now is the top 3 tight end in dynasty. I mean, David Njoku, I don't want to say he was as good of a prospect as a guy like Kyle Pitts, but if you were playing Dynasty back in 2017, you remember how exciting David Njoku was coming out of Miami. I mean, he had everything. He had the size. He had the athleticism. He was also extremely young, like Kyle Pitts. Now, the difference is Kyle Pitts clearly had more production, and Kyle Pitts gets drafted in a range where you're going, okay, we have never seen the tight end drafted here, and David Njoku was in the late first. But Njoku was a very exciting player coming out. Switchblade saying, went to Texas A&M. Okay, man, I don't want to read the rest of the message. I just kind of feel bad for you at that point. But after that, you say, with Von Miller and Ryan Tannehill before they were big time. Crazy that Tannehill was a wide receiver for 3 years and he had a bad quarterback play. Yeah, man, that is absolutely crazy. Did you see either of them ever on roster? I know that. So keep in mind, we got to college right after you had Myles Garrett getting to the NFL. But I had a bunch of friends go to Texas A&M because obviously I am located in Texas. And their first day on campus, they saw Myles Garrett balling in the rec, and they actually got to go run some game with him. Tyler Lockett for $3. Oh, great value. Why did I spend $2? I think my most disappointing pick this entire draft was Brandon Cooks for $2. Okay, it's our turn to nominate. Okay, we can get a player here. We can get a dollar player. Okay, let's go through. Who do we want for $1? Ooh, do we think we can get Darrell Henderson for $1? No. Actually, we can try it. Maybe we just have to go 2. Now, let's just throw up for $1. Let's see. Worst case scenario, we don't get them, but it is what it is. Jayan says, fun fact, College Station is the single most overrated college town in the United States. Of course, Jayan is going to say that. Of course you were going to say that, my man. A funny story, in high school, we went and visited College Station, my friends and I, and we ended up getting stuck in an elevator for a very long time, and we had a tournament the next day, and it kind of just threw everything off. Okay, so Tankopotamus up here. Darnold up for $2. Jan says, my mom and sister are huge Aggies, and I am forever embarrassed. At least they're not huge Sooners. I mean, if they were Sooners, man, at that point, I would just have to say, like, we're probably going to mute you in the chat. If they're Aggies, I mean, I feel bad for them, but you can't be too embarrassed about it. Switchblade says, I don't hate on TU as much as I used to. Yeah, what's funny is, like coming from someone who just spent 4 years at UT, and I'm saying this with 100% honesty, nobody talks about Texas A&M because we don't play each other anymore. Like, it's literally a non-existent rivalry, where I know a lot of people, like a lot of older University of Texas fans, like they still have the rivalry with Texas A&M, but we simply never had that. Like, my friends from College Station will give me crap about Texas, but outside of that, I never hear anything. Okay, we'll throw on $2 for Hollywood Brown. If we can get a Hollywood Brown for $2, I'll be very excited about that. But yeah, no, our big rival here is OU. I mean, it's all about OU. Nobody really cares about A&M. Okay, but Hollywood Brown going off for $2. We will take that. I'm very happy about that. Josh is saying he is a Sooner. Man, I don't know why you admitted that. I legitimately don't know what to say. You probably shouldn't be here. Just going to put that out there. Now we figured out who dropped a like on the stream. I mean, dropped a dislike on the stream. It was Josh, guys. It was Josh. Mr. Tulip says, I have no college as I am an Aussie. Who should I support? I would say, I don't even want to say to support UT just because it's going to be disappointing time and time again. So I don't even want to bring that on you. I would say if you're going to support a college, I don't even know. I mean, man, if I were you, I'd just like pick a random one. I mean, it may be the University of Florida. That would be something that's fun. It's close to Australia, at least. I actually know it's the exact opposite. Is the West Coast or East Coast closer to Australia? I'm obviously proving that I'm an idiot and I don't know anything, but please help me out. Joshua says, I apologize on behalf of all Joshes. He doesn't represent us in reference of the other Josh admitting that he goes to OU. Mr. Tulip says, I kind of like the Hurricanes. Miami would be a fun school to root for. Miami would be a fun college to root for. I will give that. I think that Notre Dame most likely has the most college fans still. Let me scroll down real quick so everybody can see Chender's team and see what he is building here. JN says Texas will let you down and hurt you. Yeah, JN, what do you think of my statement of saying you probably shouldn't pick the University of Texas to become a fan of? I mean, I think that would be a pretty bad life decision. Astro said I was a diehard UT fan from 2004 to 2010, classic times. What's sad is back then, I literally didn't even care about UT. Like, I wasn't even a fan of UT whenever they were good. I didn't know what college I wanted to go to. If anything, I kind of like Baylor. So I've never experienced a good season at UT. Hurricane Lane's coming in, says, did someone say Hurricanes? Mr. Tulip says, okay, that it's a lot Australia is a lot closer to the West Coast. Okay. Okay. Purple was saying super teams only drafting drunk ? Man, I think you can say that about a lot of teams here. I think you can say that about my own roster as well. Okay, Jay Alexander is up here. The guy who was our last hope against Chender. And Jay, man, I want to tell you, you let us down. I thought you were going to stop him. I thought you had it in you. It ended up not happening, though. Hurricane says, Mason, my man, the only thing you have to look forward to is a few trade backs. And, okay, god dang, I just opened up Siri. Hopefully y'all can't hear that. Okay, hopefully that didn't ruin anything. I don't know why I just opened up Siri. But Hurricane says, Mason, my man, the only thing you have to look forward to is a few trades and future rookie drafts. Yeah, no, this is going to be a blow-up roster. This is a very bad roster unless we can do something in terms of getting a value for these quarterbacks. Okay, it looks like maybe the draft froze. Did that have something to do with Siri coming on? Okay, no, maybe it just froze on my end. It looks like we were good. Thank God. Rock is saying Maddie missed James Conner for $1. Yeah, I mean, I would have done something about it, but my max bid is $1. I can literally only get players that I nominate at this point. Skit says, would you trade the 502 for Rashad Penny? Yes, the 502, you're not going to be looking at anybody. Trade it for Rashad Penny. Okay, Mac Jones just gets nominated. Did Mac Jones already go off the board? What did he go for? Mac Jones goes for $3 to Chender. Chender gets Mac Jones for $3. Keep in mind, I spent a total of $3 on the combination of Rashad Penny and Brandon Cooks. Oh my God. Steven says Sooners will win it all in the next 5 years. I have no idea how the Sooners have not won it all already. I mean, Lincoln Riley is such a good head coach, and also they always have so much talent there. I mean, I'm just praying every single year that Riley decides to go coach the Dallas Cowboys, that he decides to leave OU, and he finally gives us a chance for the Big 12. Okay, Ronald Jones up here. I mean, why are we battling it out for Ronald Jones when Mac Jones just went for $3? Hurricane is saying, in a 10-team league, Waddle and Smith went off the board with at the 102, the 201 and the 202. My first pick was the 203. Okay, so that seems standard in a Superflex league. That seems pretty standard. You're probably going to be looking at Elijah Moore, Rondell Moore, Rashad Bateman, Terrace Marshall, Trey Sermon, Mac Jones. Mac Jones, I really wouldn't be too interested in a 10-man Superflex league. I think if you're talking a 12 or a 14 team, then yeah, you can get really excited. But beyond that, yeah, not too exciting. Chang saying, it's crazy OU hasn't won it all since 2000. You know, honestly, it is very crazy because I'm not going to lie. I mean, I go to UT. Obviously, I don't like OU, but they are a very, very, very good football team every single year. Okay, so let's try to figure out who we are going to nominate next. We are about to be up to nominate. I think we maybe go Keyshawn Vaughn here. Just get someone for our taxi squad. Maybe scroll down, see if there are any rookies that we could be interested in. Ooh, I got a guy. Let's go Nico Collins. Ooh, is he already off the board? Has someone already got Nico Collins? Well, never mind. That goes... Oh, no, I was looking at running backs. We were completely fine. Actually, oh, no, we can get... Is there any chance we get Jalen Reagor? Any chance we get Jalen Reagor? Okay, if we get Jalen Reagor here for $1, I'll be very happy about that. I'll be very, very happy. Of course, that's not going to happen. Pristine Icon continues to kill this draft. Comes in, takes Reagor away from us. Okay, let's go through. And JN, of course, is hyping up our new coach. I can't get excited about a new coach. I mean, I was so excited about our old one. Okay, let's go through. Skylar says, Dear Future Self has a sneaky good team. Let me go through and check it out. Okay, so he has Wentz, Carr, and Goff as a platoon of quarterbacks. Honestly, I'm completely fine. If you have 3 quarterbacks, you can kind of play the matchups there. That is fine. He has some running backs that he can expect production from with both Nick Chubb and Javonte Williams. He has a decent wide receiver core, and he has those elite tight ends. So I'm interested to see how it plays out. This is auctions are by far and away the most interesting format. Just because you would have never had a league with this kind of just craziness in it. You would have never had a league look anything like this if it was a draft. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 teams left with a non-$1 max bid. So it looks like we're most likely going to be going through and expecting that we are going to be switching to a slow draft sometime soon. So Super Teams Only does go through and he bids another $1. That's something I want to see. I want to get to the point where nobody has any money left and we can just kind of do it as a slow draft. JN says Tom Herman was literally hated by everyone after the first few months. No, man, I liked Herman. I mean, with Herman, he was a very good recruiter. I think the weird thing was I'm not even going to talk about UT football. I'm not going to talk about it. We talked about college football enough. Okay, so Chender is up here, the enemy of the league. You got Debo for 4, Mac Jones for 3. God dang. Okay, Chender, let's see who you nominate. Let's see it. Okay, he goes Leonard Fournette. I really wish we would have. I'm so disappointed in us for spending $7 on Dallas Goddard. Every time I look up, I just want to cry. Luke is saying Williams or Smith in a rookie draft, and then he goes through to pretty much tell us he has a loaded running back core. And man, no, you still have to go Javonte Williams. I mean, you're talking about a running back that was drafted in the top 40 picks. Not only that, it was a trade up at the same time. I mean, that's a running back that's going to get a full down workload. And Javonte, if you check out our rookie draft guide that's going to be available on Patreon over later this month, no, he doesn't have a picture perfect profile, but you can see how it can be a borderline workhorse running back at the NFL, and we know that there's nothing more valuable than that in fantasy. Okay, now Corey Davis is up here. God dang, how did we spend $2 on Brandon Cooks at the same time? Why did I think that was a good idea? What was I possibly thinking at that point? Okay, so let's go through. And Jayan says, my bad, I just never get to talk football with someone outside of you. No, man, I promise you, I'll be happy to talk football with you in the DMs. I just know that the other 100 people in here, they don't care too much about UT football. But Corey Davis going off for $1. Oh, that pissed me off. I mean, you're not going to let me get Jalen Reagor for $1, but Corey Davis can go off for $1. Gallup getting nominated for $1 here. I mean, what is like a serious question here? What is Chandra waiting for? I mean, I guess. Oh, Bateman is still here. Bateman, Ruggs, our favorite wide receiver of all time, Darnell Mooney. You have Terrace Marshall. There are a bunch of these rookies still left. Oh my God. Clearly, that's what he's waiting for. Chinder came in, and in the chat, he said he actually hates Alabama. So him drafting all those players was an accident. Okay, now, there's no way Curtis Samuel goes for $1, right? There's literally no way. We just, in the chat, sent out a congrats to Chinder. I mean, we have to give props where props is their due. I mean, he killed us. Curtis Samuel going off for $1. Dear God. Dear Lord. Jameis Winston is nominated now. So, okay, super teams only coming in. Make it his quarterback here. Oh, man, this would be perfect for super teams only if he pulls off Jameis Winston. Okay, so he gets Jameis Winston. Congrats, my man. That must be very exciting for you. I did not think that you were going to be able to get a quarterback for that. Okay, so from here on out, looks like we're probably only going to be having $1 bids. I mean, you have Chinder with 6 as a max. You have MF Cranfield with 3 as a max. G. Alexander with 2. So come on, someone at least bid up Chinder here. Don't let him get Bateman for $2. Don't let that happen, please, God. Oh my gosh. Okay, he just got. Chinder has a wide receiver core. Keep in mind, this is he has Amari, Godwin, Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, Mike Evans, Jerry Jeudy, Julio Jones, Deebo Samuel, and Rashad Bateman. That's all I have to say. I mean, what? Rock Lee coming out to celebrate that he finally got his QB1. Yeah, awesome. My man, congrats. So, Terrace Marshall up here, Tankopotamus, throwing $2 on it. Okay, what just happened? Did he go for 2? Did he go for 3? Okay, Chinder got him for 3. Okay, it looks like, guys, we are going to be winding down on this live stream. We were live streaming for less than I thought. I thought we were going to be pushing 4 hours, but thank God we only go about 2.5. Of course, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you have not done any of those already for whatever reason. And also, we are going to be doing these Dynasty startup drafts very often going forward. Now, I think we're probably going to be doing a lot of drafts. I don't know how many auctions we're going to be doing just because this is way too stressful and it's a lot harder for me to stream. You can't really make as many trades. So I think we'll probably be doing a draft for the next one, but those are going to be happening very often. So, of course, you can find all of those startups over on Patreon. I am playing in every single one, and y'all can be the next Chinder. You can be the next guy coming out and just completely crushing us and making us wish that we never started this league in the first place, because it looks like I'm just going to be donating to the league pot season after season after season. Skit says, would you draft Chase even though you have T. Higgins in Dynasty? Yes, man. Please don't be worried about that. I mean, you're just getting correlation into your starting lineup. Draft Chase, worst case scenario, then trade for Joe Burrow. Get as many of those stacks as you can. Don't even, Rock Lee is saying draft Chase and trade Higgins. No, don't even worry about it. Okay, so Jarvis Landry is getting nominated here. So Tankopotamus has $2, Chinder has $3, McCranfell has $3, J. Alexander has $2. Darian says Chinder running backs are trash. They're pretty bad, but at the end of the day, I mean, it doesn't matter. He has so much wide receiver value that he can just trade wide receivers for running backs and then all of a sudden have a juggernaut of a team. I'm going to be going through and sending him offers and saying, hey, man, do you want Mixon? Give me some of these wide receiver rookies. I'm going to send in the chat that Chinder is our #1 enemy. Okay. Oh, okay. Never mind. We automatically got to nominate Robbie Anderson, but of course, J. Alexander comes in over the top, so it looks like we're not even going to get our nominations. Okay, so outside of Chinder, guys, obviously is the best team. Let me know what other draft you liked here. Let me know what other team you think came across as a winner. I mean, an initial standout for me is going to be M. Cranfield. I mean, I really like what he did with building that wide receiver core, getting some discount quarterbacks at the end. I mean, M4G was also very, very good. I think M4G maybe has the second best team here. Tankopotamus I like. But obviously, nothing lives up to Chinder. Nothing lives up to the myth, the legend. Brandon saying, is Mims a buy low or a don't touch? I mean, the thing is, what's the real upside there? Elijah Moore is a much better prospect. You also have Corey Davis coming in. Corey Davis is going to get more targets. And even if Jamison Crowder gets cut, all of a sudden Denzel Mims is the wide receiver 3 on the New York Jets. So I would prefer not to touch. I mean, if you can get him as a throw-in, it's going to depend on your league format. If you're playing in like a 14-man league, if you're playing in a league where you have to start 12 or more players, then yeah, Denzel Mims can be interesting there. But if you're playing in a 10 or a 12-man league where you're only starting just say 10, 11, 12 guys, then no, I'm not too interested. Okay, so Mark up to nominate. Okay, so at this point, we're just wanting Chinder and McCranfield to spend their last dollars. We're just wanting, let's see who they're probably going to be going after. I mean, probably Ruggs. Outside of that, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I really don't know who they're going to want. Hopefully they spend their last few dollars sometime soon. Okay, honestly, guys, at this point, it is not necessarily going to be that useful for me to come out and to continue to live stream this. So let's switch it over here just so I can thank everybody for coming out, for everybody sticking around with us this entire stream. This was a very long one. And like I said, I mean, y'all just continue to make this channel grow at an incredible rate. And that's 100% because of what y'all are doing. I don't want to act like it's anything to do with me at all. Y'all just kill that like button over and over and over again. So, I mean, notification gang is a real thing here with people hitting that notification bell next to the subscribe button. So thank you for everybody who nonstop supports the channel. And I promise you, I'm going to continue to do everything I can for y'all. And yeah, over on Patreon, we're going to be doing a lot more of these Dynasty startups going forward. So thank you for everybody coming out. And yeah, I'll talk to you on